Yes. I want to welcome you all to the You Wasn't Outside podcast on the Grown Folks Podcast Network. I'm one of your hosts, not doing the most normal ass Carl. To my front, I have my man at Just Lex in the mix. And together we form Voltron.
And this Lex.
Here with us in spirit, we have Juicy J. If she does come out and hang with us, shut the fuck up. If she does come and hang with us, we'll probably cut and then she'll randomly be here in the episode. What's good, bro? What's new, man?
Hell week.
Yeah. You know, for it to be Hell Week, they had hella energy yesterday, though. You know what I mean?
It'd be like that after practice, too, and we all be like, I'll be like, yo, don't show too much of that, because that's all we do when we see him running. Like, y'all just going to be... They went to the park and shit, and they had a rough Friday practice, and then the team moms all got them pizza, and then everyone was like... this wasn't the practice to get them some pizza.
You know, football team moms are different. Y'all bonded?
With the moms?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I feel like it's like an automatic in football.
Yeah, but... Like
my cousin, she, when her son was playing Pop Warner and stuff, they used to go out to like a bar and stuff after the game. Right here down in, I don't want to put it in.
And a lot of the team moms are like, they have returning players, right? So they kind of already have that. I'm trying to like fit myself in, like, what up, y'all? Yeah, I'll be around.
I want to see the maturation of a teen mom, right? Because at some point we knew these types of moms in high school. And I just want to know, like, yo, like, what got you here to where, like, you're bringing all the snacks and, you know, coordinating shit and talking shit to people. And
shit.
And these teen moms are a little butchy.
One of the teen moms, she was like, a couple weeks ago, or a week or so ago, they had a flag game. They had back-to-back flag games because they had the playoffs and then they had something else, right? They did that. Then they went to the tackle practice, which was like the beginning of Hell Week. And they had a 3-hour practice on Friday. And after that, she's like, we got to go. Because his older brother was in the World Championships baseball.
Oh, shit.
And he had a game at 7:50. And I was like, oh, damn, like that's kind of late. She's like, yeah, if he wins, he got one right after. I said, after 7:50, what the... Hey, man. Hey, bless her heart.
If any of you guys have heard me on this rhetoric, man, I really feel like youth sports are fucked up. I've played late games, maybe 6, 7 o'clock, but never no 9:30, 10 o'clock start time. Like the threshold of some of these parents and the amount of games that they be making these kids play like in a weekend is just crazy. And like teams aren't built to like, in baseball, you're not built to have three or four pitchers per game. That means you have to have the whole damn near team pitch to do it in a whole weekend. So a lot of these kids are getting like shoulder and arm surgeries and shit like that, like earlier than what they supposed to be getting. Or by the time they get into the league, they so beat up, which takes me to where I need to go to. Hip, everything, anything else you want to get on?
We started basketball too. It's going to be a long one.
Well, no, we're still going to be on this rhetoric because I felt like it's something to say, but I wanted to at least, because there was a statement that was made, shows to watch. So yesterday, I got a chance to talk to our man John, right, when we were all out eating, and he was telling us to watch the New York Giants on HBO, the Hard Knocks. So if you guys haven't checked it out, watch it, because it's the first time that I remember Hard Knocks not being so focused on the game and players of football.
For the listeners, Hard Knocks is usually on during the preseason. Because of the writer's strike, they were looking for shit to do, and so this is the off-season Hard Knocks.
Absolutely. So this is the off-season from February all the way up until whenever they stop. It's only like 3 or 4 episodes, but it's specifically on the New York Giants. And if any of you guys like follow like, you know, sports like that, on the Giants, they had a generational talent in Saquon Barkley. And they were saying like, oh yeah, he had like 900 carries at Penn State. And I'm thinking like, yo, if he had 900 carries at Penn State, and he's this, you know, all-American running back and shit like that, like, bro probably had hella carries in high school, hella carries in Pop Warner, right? And so when I think about, like, I had a conversation with someone about, you know, my stepson and my daughter in regards to expectations. My expectations in regards to, like, youth sports and playing, you know, beyond high school is, like, maybe my number is 40% to maybe 50% of childhood athletes play high school sports, right? And then that number that I know for a fact is about 17% make it to the NCAA. The top 1% make it to professional sports, right? So, and I think that this show gives a right frame of reference in regards to how these professionals and college coaches and all these players, all these people think in regards to like recruiting kids and recruiting athletes and getting them on teams, right? It's all based on need, right? I was talking to a lady about my high school coach who recently retired. Bro's like 50 something, if that, right? Maybe late 40s, early 50s, if anything. And he was 29 when we first started, and it was like, yo, why did he leave? He left because he doesn't like the state of sports right now. You know, I'm not going to get into the weeds about it too much because I don't think people knew this. He gave a different like explanation. But my point is that a lot of these kids are getting their shit catered to them, right? And they don't understand the business side of things. If I'm a coach and I got a running back, a wide receiver, a tight end, O-line, or already situated, and all I need is DBs and maybe a linebacker, that means that I only got 4 or 5 positions that I have open for your choice school. All that shit is luck. It's randomized. I don't know if Lex is going to go to the league or not, or if he's going to graduate or transfer or whatever he does, but he holds a position on this team, right? And so what I tell people is you just got to like get lucky. When I got into high school baseball or whatever, there was already a third baseman there. Hell, there was already a first baseman there. So my aspirations of coming in and being a 4-year starter wasn't there. You know, so it's like if you're pushing your kids with the expectation that they're going to make it, work ethic is only part of it. The other part of it is luck. If you think your kid is going to go to UCLA, USC, any of these major schools, well, how is the other talent on the other side of the United States performing too? Because they recruit in those areas. So it's really based on need, man. So it's crazy when you're talking about all these sports and how diehard these parents are in regards to this shit and 9 p.m. games. It's like there's a lot of people that do that shit for nothing, right? Mm-hmm. If you do it for the love of it, cool, I fuck with that. I understand that. But if you're telling me that, oh, we want him to go blah, 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 then I know that you don't have a fucking clue about how this shit works. And that's why I hate talking to some of these parents about that shit, because it's like, yo, you got to be realistic. So, yeah.
Yeah, man. Luckily, I haven't had to deal with too many parents yet.
That's good.
But then again, I haven't really been in a head coach capacity.
Right.
So I just kind of be on the sideline, right? I'm like the...
Have they started the beefs yet? Or no, because kids aren't at positions. Ball hasn't been dispersed. You haven't
Not
played
really,
any games.
but there's been some, you know... The beefs I have been a part of has been on opposing parents talking shit or doing whatever, and I got to step in the middle.
Yeah.
And with not with the kids themselves, but I'm like the evolved me is like the emotional support coach dad, because they're all talking to the kids like I want to talk. Like it's really, you know, discipline, military style, whatever. But then now I offer the more like like on Friday, you know, most of the coaches have a son on the team, right? And I think every coach, including me, we're a little bit harder on our kid than we are everybody else. It's not like no special treatment type of shit. And like I said, it was a rough practice, so everybody was getting it. And then the kids, on top of Hell Week, all the shit, the extra shit they got to do, there's a lot of crying. And then so I'm the coach that goes over. And I don't tell them, hey, it's going to be okay. I don't do that. But I give them a more like different perspective of like, I'm not screaming at you. I'm going to deliver the message in a different type of way. But I'm also going to try to curb the crying so you can get back into focusing on the play in front of you.
Let me ask you, though, why does that matter to you? Like,
I don't know if it
why do you play? Like, why do they play? Right? Like, if I'm sitting here and I'm telling you, right, like all the numbers and all that shit, what is your personal reasons for them to play?
My kids? What do you mean?
Like playing sports, youth sports. What's the goal for you?
Because I think sports is the great unifier. Sports does so much for a kid. It gives you exposure to different types of kids, different types of backgrounds. It helps you come together as one, assuming team sports, to for a common goal. It helps you do the team. everything you learn in sports can be applied to life in general. And I do think a lot of athletes out once they leave the sport and they have to go into the real world, like they have a higher likelihood of thriving in whatever they choose because they have a certain mentality. And so when I come what I notice a lot in the kids, especially because I know my kids, they take them, like they have the talent, they have the physicality, they take themselves out of the mental game way too easily. And I know, maybe not at age 6, maybe not age 8, but there's a certain time frame where I was able to look across from me and know that player didn't want to be there, wasn't ready for whatever, and I knew he was food. Right? And so I'm trying to tell them, like, if you're sitting here doing this and that, or if you're lined up like this, or you're crying, or you're looking like this, I know you don't know what you're doing, and I'm about to take advantage of that.
See, what I like about it, and I'm looping all this together, is like even what I'm talking about, like that show in particular, is that sports is a business, right? And now it's a collegiate level and maybe even high school level business now, right? When you think about, high school athletes that are, getting deals and stuff like that, my man that got in trouble out here in Dago, the basketball player, Drake was shouting him out. I can't think of bro's name now because he's been out of the high school.
Mikey?
Mikey Williams. Mikey Williams, I'm thinking about that, and it's like, it's a business, right? And with it being a business means it's work, right? And so with it being work, like every day, I go to work, you go to work, we do our 8 to 5, 9 to 5, whatever your time schedule is. Everybody goes to work. And you got to basically work is practice. You're practicing. And then, they'll probably do a performance evaluation to see how, like, you've been doing this shit like that. And that's what you're working towards, right? And so, like, I've had conversations where people be like, oh, he's only 7 or she's only 5. And it's like, I hate the only conversation because I feel like as they get older and shit like that, you have to prepare them for certain things. I'm not unrealistic with my expectations. My daughter can hit a golf ball really fucking well, but don't mistake that for like she doesn't have days where she don't feel like doing it or like she, acts up a little bit or whatever. I'm not strict on her in that regard. Like, we out there to have fun. I don't keep her score. I just keep track of what she's doing, right? I don't sit up here and measure all that. We go to baseball practice. I yell at them in practice, but when it's game time, you do whatever you could. And if you weren't prepared, part of that is on me, right? And so I accept those responsibilities. And I think that even if we lost, I accept responsibilities for that, or I understand where we're at, and I just look at it as a learning experience. And that's life, right? It's like, life teaches you to learn about yourself. If you're not good at something, keep working at it. If you know you're not good at that, right? You're not good at playing corner or whatever, go play safety. You know what I mean? Go play running back. Like, you're not pigeonholed into just doing one thing. Sports is about pushing yourself to certain limits and also accepting where you're deficient in and what you're efficient in and utilizing those strengths. And so that's why I use it. I don't give a shit if they play at a high level or not. I'm going to do everything I can to ensure that happens. But if it don't, it don't. But I want them to come out of this with life lessons.
Right. And that's why I had to change it, because I try to be everything that I didn't have, right? So I grow up and, everything's about winning because I don't know nothing. It's like, I'll work hard. I'll try to put in the work and I want to win. And if I don't win, which happened a lot, it's like, I don't know how to handle it. Or once I do know or then I get used to losing, where it's like, I'm going to just be a good player on a bad team like my whole life. And that shit is not fun.
Right.
But then that mentality, once I left sports, it went on. And in a lot of ways, I thought it was helping me because it pushed me to do things quicker than, my peers or whatever, however you want to put it. But it also, when it wasn't going right, it made the way I beat myself up. I didn't have nobody to teach me nothing different. So on one hand, it helped, but once my mind turned against me, it's powerful enough to like really put me into this place I didn't need to be in. And so that's the part that I'm trying to, like, right now, we started basketball today, and I'm like, similar to football, like, hey, your first season, I'm not counting no L's, wins and losses. This is all about learning the game. We can only do so much doing drills at the park. if you don't know what a game feels like, right? That counts for something. We're trying to get a feel for the actual game. Right now, you're used to running into these cones. These are going to be people now. And that's totally different. And so for basketball, I'm just like, hey, you know, and I'm sure you had the same thing in baseball when you have like some of these perfectionist kids. It's like, you bat 3 for 10, you go to the Hall of Fame.
Right.
You go 3 for 10 in school, you fail. Anywhere else you fail. But in baseball, like, hey, so if you have kids thinking like, I got to hit every shot, and I'm like, hey, we just watched Steph Curry, right? He misses half the shots he takes, but he's still considered the greatest shooter who ever lived. Right. Like, you got to get them used to that. Like, okay, like, it's what I tell all the kids on the field is like, have a short-term memory. You drop the ball, don't think about it again. Because then if you think about it, you're going to keep dropping it.
Absolutely.
And the main thing, which I want them to come away with, is just the effort. You're not going to win every time. You still going to make the mistakes. Professionals make the mistakes. The best players in the world make the mistakes. We just got done watching 2 weeks of Olympic sports. I seen Simone fall off the beam.
Yeah.
Right? It happens. But if the effort and energy is there, yeah, you can still be a little sad that you lost or whatever it may be. But if you put it all on the field, it's not going to change if you're worried about how I'm feeling, that I'm mad that you lost or I'm mad that you made the mistake, don't. If you gave it all your energy, then you ain't got to worry about me.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be good either way. But it's when you half-assing it or not trying, that's when, even if you win, I'm going to be like, that shit was luck. That's going to piss me off.
Yeah, and you know what? My last piece on this, the other reason why I do it is just to keep them outside. Because, like, playing the game the other day, my stepson was like, oh, blood. I was like, oh, shit.
Oh!
I was like, yo, I didn't think we'd get here this early.
At least he chose, right?
Right? And I was like, yo, how did we get here this early? But he's been playing the kids on the video game, so some of these kids don't be having no activities outside of just playing video games all day, talking to kids across fucking United States. So I was like, all right, let me explain this to you. One, you're not tough, right? Let me just get this out the way right now. We practice at 4-5 Park. You be asking me if them dudes is gangsters, and you be out there like, are we okay, right? So you not tough, right? Second thing is, let me just tell you about what statistics says about, you know, these gentlemen that, you know, are leading these lives. Nothing wrong with it, you know, in terms of them, but for us, we just gonna shoot in a different direction. I ain't gonna even say it's high, low, sideways, whatever. We just shooting in a different direction. But like it keeps you off the streets. I keep my daughter, I could just tell now she's too witty. So it's like, yo, like you got to stay off the streets, you know what I mean? And work towards goals. Always having them constantly in front of you. Shows you got.
I mean, I've been watching pretty much nothing but the Olympics past couple weeks, but before that, I finally got to the Barry Sanders doc on Amazon Prime called Bye Bye Barry.
One. Yeah.
And, you know, Barry Sanders is like, what would be number 2 or 3? My favorite players of all time. So it was nice to watch that, and I was watching it with G, like on some late night shit when everybody else was asleep. And, you know, it's crazy how all that shit was like 30, 35 years ago, but no one's really duplicated what he's done to where G's like, that's real? Like, because he moved like a video game.
Right.
Right, so like seeing all that to the point where even though it was a one-off documentary, every couple of weeks or so he's like, "Can we watch Barry Sanders?"
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, you want me to put on the YouTube highlights again?" He's like, "No, I want to watch the thing that we watched."
Oh, so he always wants to rewatch.
He wants to rewatch the doc, like it's had that type of effect on him.
Yeah,
and, which is nice because it's nice because let me tell you, on the other side, even more flagrant. Like, I don't even want to admit this shit on air about how bad I'm failing as a dad right now. So I thought I was winning, right? Because when they shoot and they close into the hamper, they yell Kobe, right? I'm glad that that's going to go on another generation. However, I'm like, yo, you don't know who Kobe Bryant is. Because I've showed you, like, when you're younger, you've seen Kobe a million times. But he keeps saying Kobe Jackson. And I'm like, who the fuck is Kobe Jackson? Do you mean Michael Jackson or Kobe Bryant?
It sounds like a soccer player.
Because he's mixing up Kobe and Michael Jackson. They're both gone. But then,
and they both impacted the world in different capacities.
and here's the thing. So I opened Instagram yesterday, and he's in my phone, and it shows a picture of Kobe. And this is where I was like, oh my God, no. He said, Dad, that's the bad guy from Space Jam. And I said, wait a minute. Now, I only saw it one time, so I'm like, I know he's not. Is he talking about Don Cheadle?
Don Cheadle.
And I was like, oh no, what is happening?
Sound like the monkey. Oh no.
Yeah, it was. Oh man.
Don Cheadle is crazy.
I can't believe I said that shit
That's
on
funny
camera.
that you said that, deja vu, because I just talked about Don, and that's hell of a random actor to bring up. But I was just talking about Don Cheadle like the other day, like bringing it up. Matter of fact, they got a new Falcon movie coming out. Hey man, Marvel's hurting.
Yeah.
Like after watching like Deadpool and shit, and like all the Fox jokes that they had on
let's
there.
at least pander. Let's have another black lead.
And you know what? They keep telling like, oh, he's no Captain America, and I was like, I feel him. Like I feel him. Like nah, he ain't Cap. So I was like, damn, bro. I'll probably watch the Falcon movie at home. I'm not gonna lie.
Disney Plus.
Hit my hand claps.
Yeah, man. I can't believe you said that. But on the other hand, you know, Zeke is playing like his little 6-year-old team is the Celtics. And when he rolled up and found out, he was highly upset, which makes me feel good about myself.
There you go. Sometimes little small victories. Like I said, he was jumping in the pool today, making catches. He caught 3.
Those are important because that's that extra level hand-eye coordination.
That's why I was like, yo, we got one on film. I was like, all right, cool.
Why? How come when you said that, the first thing I said is, man, let me get G in the pool. Let's do this, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, man. You know, you got to jump in, get a little. I felt good about that. But those are things that we just did naturally.
Yeah.
Like I'm practicing this shit. Like she's like, oh, we ain't got to practice today. I was like, nah, I'm going to make him like have a fun day. Some cones came in. He was like, yeah, I want to do some drills with my new cones. I was like, all right, cool. That's one thing. Now we're gonna work on the hand.
Because it's new. Yeah, it don't matter what it is. Like this is for work.
Throwing pop flies in the pool. He's like, it's hard in the water. I said, cool. That's an excuse. It's in the catch radius. Random shit to fill in time. When you at work, do you answer calls on the floor? Like when you're actually in the office, or when you've been in the office?
That's the only time I answer the phone. Which, I mean,
wait, like your.
I make sure
cell phone.
I handle all my phone shit in the office because I can't stand doing.
No, what I'm saying is like say like even if you're at lunch, right? I don't want you worried about like the fucking anybody listening or not. What I'm saying is even at work. My point of this is...
Oh, you mean like personal calls?
Yeah, personal calls.
Oh, shit. Yeah, rewind. Hey. Yeah. Here's the thing. I don't like answering the phone before 12 because that messes up my podcast.
I noticed that. I don't even try calling you at 9.
And not even that, but also like my work, my focus. I'm on the grind that first half of the day. To if I don't get everything done before 11, that second half, woo. It's going to be rough.
Yeah, because, like, okay, so the reason why I said that, though, is because, like, when my homie called me and he started talking a little extra spicy, I can't return, like the way I want to return. So I noticed, like, if you call me, he's like, yo, man, we went out yesterday. There was, like, 20 of them out there, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, damn, that's crazy, for real? Oh, shit, didn't see that coming. Like, oh, y'all, did you guys have a good time? Like, you could tell that. Yeah, exactly. You hear what I'm saying? So, like, I was talking to my man the other day, and he was like, hello? I was like, hey, man, blah, blah, blah. I'm just popping off my shit. He was like, hey, hold up. Hey, sir, how you doing? Yeah, nice to see you again today. Get back on the phone. You can tell he's holding back. And I was like, look, man, you on the floor right now? He's like, yeah. I said, just hit me later, right? Because, like I feel like my whole demeanor switches up. And I also feel like, because I work in, like, cubicle spaces, so I be listening to other people on the phone, and I was like, I know they be listening to me because they always ask me, oh, how you doing? How's your weekend or whatever? It's like, oh, you want to know like how my shit is going.
Whoever was on the phone sound like you had a good weekend.
Yeah, so like, but see, when I get on the phone with you, you're not a man of many words anyway. So I feel like you keep the same demeanor on the phone as you are if you answered it at work on the floor.
Yeah.
It's real short.
Unless I'm talking about like some real shit. Where I feel like, let me go in the conference room real quick.
Yeah.
Then I'll get my shit off. But
yeah, I feel
it's also because when I'm talking on the phone, I don't like to sit down. I like to move around. So me just being in the cubicle, like, Not even on someone's listening.
That's a good point.
I just like to move around.
Like if even if I'm in the car, I like to be on the phone.
No. You're interrupting my music.
But it does it for me in terms of like not just sitting. Like if I was just sitting here right now, I'd need some background noise, or I'd be moving around, or I gotta lay down.
Yeah, I mean, we make the joke as dudes, right? Like when you're doing the pacing and the back and forth, it's because you're on the phone with a girl. Yeah. And you be sitting in like random positions or whatever. Yeah. But I'm like that no matter who I'm on the phone with. Cause I
feel like it's a learned behavior with me. Like my mom sit down on the phone, she be talking. But like, yeah, I gotta be moving, or I'm always in a place that I wouldn't normally sit in my house when I'm on the phone with somebody. Like the last long ass phone call I had about you, if you recall back, like I sat at my dining room table, bro. I probably sat there 3 times, right, for like an hour and a half, and I was like, yo, I would never normally sit here, you know. But like I try, like I get a lot of personal calls, or my mom will call me. And I'm like, hey, man, I'm going to have to hit you later because I can't respond in the way that I want to respond to you. So that always throws me off. Another thing. Now, we might be getting into cultural things, but let's just get to it. You talk to movies while you watching them? Or shows?
Depending on the type of show and depending on who I'm with, like, if it's a serious show, I might ad lib, like, oh shit, like little shit like that, but I'm not gonna talk.
Like, don't open the door.
Nah, not really. Sometimes, every now, I might go through spurts of that, but I try not to.
Do your kids do it?
Yes.
Yeah, that shit's annoying. The reason why I brought that up, because like, yo, they watched the movie before me, and I was like, all right, they was like, oh, we want to see it again. I ain't never seen it, and I don't give a fuck if it's a kid's show. Don't talk to me about the movie. Like, I'm gonna watch it. Oh, guess what he about to do right now? Like, dude, don't do that. Like, that's annoying to me.
It's like, because the thing is, I think when you're older, and let me not do that, because older people might not know when to do it. But if you're with the right person who knows when to jump in to say something, I feel like you can talk through anything if you know the pieces to jump in to make your little comment, say your little ad lib or whatever it may be. But the kids, the shit they want to talk about is like they have questions. And it's like they want me to tell them the movie instead of watch it. Oh my gosh, is this going to happen? What are we watching it for? Like, just what all the questions you have right now are about to be answered.
You know who else does that? I didn't think about this, but these populations are the same older generations too. Like my mom is definitely like, I'm going to talk about this movie while I'm watching it, or let me ask you what happened. And it's like, bro, you think I'm going to tell you what happened in the last 12 minutes? Like, 12 minutes is forever in movie land. I got to explain all this shit to you. I normally, if somebody did that, I'll pause it.
Yeah, got to pause it. Like, yo, they be turning this hour and a half movie into like 4 hours.
Easily.
I can't do it.
Did they ask when it's going to be done?
They ask so many questions, I don't even know if that's one of them.
Yeah, I just be sitting there, but I think we were watching the show. Oh, fuck, I wish on this next one I wish Jay was here. I'll go ask her again if she get back here. But I do wish that, like, yo, they just stopped doing that. But my mom is just equally as bad. But I'll talk and be like, oh, he crazy, or, that's wild.
Like, there's appropriate things you say. Now, them dating shows, them shits that like the trash TV,
those are hard to explain.
We could talk through that.
Yeah, all day.
But you had to have the right person with the right banter, because the ad libs are important. You can enhance a show like that.
Absolutely. And fuck, you know what? I think like I got hooked on those when she was pregnant. Like I didn't watch TLC and all that shit like 6 years ago, man. You wouldn't catch me watching that shit. But when you get stuck with a baby in a room all day, and
should just be fired. You want to get away from what's happening in your living room. Like I fucking can't.
Or if you get a girl, because if you get a girl too, you're not moving like you used to move. I don't care what any of these dudes say. What I'm saying is like when you get older and you get a girl, like the expectation is that you not gonna be going out as much as you used to. You're not gonna be going to kickbacks. You're not gonna be hanging. So it's like, yo, on a Friday night, what am I going to do? Love After Lockup come on or whatever? Because I watched the show and it load up next.
Yeah.
That's the one thing.
Most of that shit she put me on. Like, I'm like, and then I'm like, now I'm more into it than she is. Like, hey, this shit is fire.
Can't believe you. But, I mean, that's how it happens. The Up Next is giving me so many more trash TV shows to watch on certain, like, networks that, like, it makes, it's great. Like today's TV is completely
I'm
different.
trying not to get in because they got like Love is Blind in all the different countries now, and I'm not about to do all that.
Yeah, I can't do that. But even then, their cultures and like the way they talk and go about doing things is not interesting to me. Okay, so it reminded me because that landed me somewhere.
Hold on.
Okay, so I asked this question. Y'all skated by it. Everybody's busy dads and shit like that or whatever in the group chat. Do you feel like, let's say you go to a foreign country, Brazil, right? Brazil's leading language, I think, out there is Portuguese, right? So it's not Spanish or whatever, but let's say you learn a few words.
Close enough.
Outside of even this trip, do you view yourself as a rational thinker?
Outside of this trip.
Yeah, outside of this trip. No, because there's a reason why I'm
Who
asking
knows what
like
you're going
this.
to do in Brazil?
No. Because no, not to that degree. But do you consider yourself like a rational thinker, like you're middle of the pack, like yo, like I make great decisions in regards to things that pertain to me and like health, safety, all these other things, right? Overall,
I think so.
okay. Now, if you went to Brazil, right? Can't hear nothing.
I got it. It's super poppy.
Oh my god!
Just go.
But let's say you go over to Brazil and you're trying to like say like, hey, where's this food spot or whatever, right? Now, obviously, you're using Portuguese language. And I was just staying up one night and I was like, yo, I feel like when, say, a Mexican dude, a Filipino dude, or somebody that's like from that country comes over here and they speak broken English, I automatically assume that they have low education. Right? Because of the language barrier.
I get what you mean.
You get what I'm saying?
It's not fair, but I get it.
It's not fair to them, but that's why I said for you, it's the same thing. Like, yo, anytime I've ever went... Like,
Are you stupid? Yeah.
Because the way they come across is like, yo, but people view us Americans that same way. Right?
Yeah,
like,
sure.
like that's why when you were talking about like, oh, I don't get into the other countries, but I'm like, yo, like, I don't understand their customs. To me, it seems very...
Yeah, there's certain,
primal.
There's like music or phrases that they do where they go like, oh, in English it sounds kind of crazy, but I promise you it makes way more sense in Spanish or whatever.
Right.
Like, there'll be different phrases or be songs that when you translate it to English, you're like, what the fuck do you mean? Like, no, but in Spanish it sounds like beautiful or whatever.
Yeah, but also like, okay, so you're on the right track, but I also think of it like we speak pretty good proper English, right? Like we don't sound like where we come from, like 100%. Like we done read a few textbooks and cracked a few open, right? But then there's been conversations with people who I know that don't have the same quality of education where I'm like, damn, like they understanding's a little different. Now, if you was translating for me and I was saying X, Y, and Z, I don't think you can get the intricacies. Like when people translate, they translate like base language of like what someone's trying to do. But intentions and feelings are hard to like match because in opposite countries, right? Or in opposite cultures, like mannerisms are completely different. You get what I'm saying a little bit? Like, yeah, there's already added like barriers to communication because of the difference in languages. But I also feel like mannerisms, culture, customs, and all that also is hard to kind of like interpret through, those things. So like when you have somebody who comes over from a foreign country and I'm talking to them, I might think they're simple, but that's not the case. Like my man's told me that like he hired a babysitter for his son and he was like, yeah, like talking to him's kind of tough or whatever. But then he told me like this babysitter's background by saying like, oh, she's an architect over in Mexico. It's like, well, damn, this lady's really smart. It's just that her education doesn't line up to what happens here, which is why she has to take a lesser job. You get what I'm saying? Like the dudes that be out in front of Home Depot, like I'd be like, damn, they might have some fire rationales and we'll just never know because of the language barrier.
Yeah.
So how do you feel the same way though? Like, do you automatically assume if you come across somebody foreign that they logic is just like crazy?
I don't know if it's their logic. I think it's just more, but I do understand the whole like lower education thing where it's just like, but it's like lower what education? American education? Like, so the fuck what? We're not even that dope in education. They don't promote those numbers.
That's crazy.
But we like number what? Like 100 in math or some shit.
But they count education like STEM though, huh? Because we know a lot about nothing.
Yeah, we sure do.
That's what I would like equate American education to. Is it's a lot about nothing. Where I feel like the Asian countries, man, they have a lot more emphasis on like the math and sciences and stuff like that.
Well, and then I forgot what were we talking about in the chat the other day when we were when I was telling them like, hey, you know, contrary to some people's belief where, you know, they send us their rapists and their criminals and all that other shit. A lot of the reason some of these countries can't really come up is because the education system is poor. The structure is poor where they're at. And them having this high regard for American society, they sacrifice everything they got just to get educated over here. And then they get that education. And a lot of times they go high with it and they become a doctor or engineer or something like that. But instead of bringing that back to their home country and using it to help with the structure over there,
argued about this.
They stay over here. And because there might be better opportunity to make more money with that job and stuff like that. And then they just rise in the rank here. And that's like an issue. So we the things that we import, culture and opportunity like that, is the reason we attract stuff like that. Because I don't know... I mean, I ain't been to the doctor too much, but I ain't had a whole bunch of just American doctors.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I haven't had none of my kids' doctors is American, and they're like a lot of first generation or second generation, whatever like that.
What ethnicity is your kid's doctor? Indian?
Yep.
Yeah.
And the fact that you just ran with that stereotype, and it just happens to be some stereotypes is like, well, shit, he not wrong.
I ain't gonna
observations.
Did I ever tell you my dentist story about I don't want to say the brother's name because he served a lot of people in Southeast. My mom was like, yeah, we got this I got this dentist down here by down the street. Like if you start going west on the big road, right there in that little complex with the 2-story. Where is that? He's in that same little complex.
When's the last time you was there?
In that complex?
At that dentist?
A year ago. Or a year and a half ago.
I could have swore he passed.
Recently?
No, like 10 years ago.
Nah, he's still alive. He's black.
Yeah.
Nah, he alive.
But they had a drive. I could have sworn.
Got the same last name as Carl that played for the Jazz.
Yeah.
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 He's alive.
What am I thinking about? Because his store, it got shot up at a drive-by, a little funk that happened when I was doing my 7-Eleven thing.
Yeah, he's still there.
I could have sworn.
Oh, no, wait a minute. I'm going to tell you the story and you're going to know he's still there. So I get in there, right? The dental hygienist lady, and I'm saying this to say this, right? I'm going to tell you the moral of my story and then I'll tell you the story. Sometimes I be iffy to be my own people because I'm like, damn, I want to make sure you have the most rigorous of programs that you went through because I know these other people, right, that we talking about, they be living for that shit. And I want to support black doctors, but... This guy was on some bullshit and I was right and my dad had a run in with him too.
And that's the thing, right? Like you said that, but then I know a lot of people that go like, oh, I want my lawyer to be Jewish.
Yeah.
Or like, I want my pilot to be male.
You know what? You're right though. I haven't seen a female Southwest maybe once. If I ever seen one at all, like a airplane pilot. Anyway, I get in there, and the dental hygienist lady, she got a little attitude, right? She doing a little work. Now, I noticed that they didn't change the instruments up. Like, I only noticed a few dentist offices, but I think it's now universal, where they use that little water pick thing to kind of get the calculus off your teeth, right? You know what I'm talking about? It look like a little black pen. So she using that, but she hitting my gums on every tooth. And I'm like, fuck, this shit hurt, right? Like, she just killing me. So he come in.
Like a power washer.
Yeah. But she was fucking me up. He come in, long white lab coat. He look at my chart real quick, close it up. Let me get a look in real quick. Take a look. All right, see you in about 6 months. We got to take care of this too real quick. Cool, you ain't going to explain no shit to me? Like, you just go, nah, go ahead. He said, nah, we're good. Go ahead and do your appointment. I was like, man, fuck all this, man. I missed my appointment. My dad get there, and he said, like, maybe like 2 weeks later, my dad goes to him, and he's like talking shit to my dad. You know, like, hey, man, you got to really, You know, my dad don't like that shit. Like, you're not about to talk shit and have your hands up in my mouth at the same time. Anyway, my dad was like, yo, I ain't fucking with it. My mom swears by it. Now, I feel like older black women, they be really trying to push like that same rhetoric of like support black businesses. But I look, I'm gonna be the first one to tell you that I feel like some black businesses be on some bullshit, right? Because it's like, yo, like Sucker Free. Like I used to go to Sucker Free all the time. It's still open.
I ain't been there in a little minute.
If it's still open, then I apologize, but I'm just gonna be real with y'all. Like I shouldn't be there, and then it take 25 minutes for y'all to get my order, then another 25 for the food to come out. I get it, it's soul food, but you got to find a fast way to cook this shit. You know what I mean? But
I don't know about that. I wouldn't complain about that part.
Nah, because I feel like Louisiana Purchase is like amazing when it comes to that. Right there in North Park. But anyway, my whole point in saying all that shit is like, yo, I want to make sure, like, if I'm gonna support you, I'm gonna support you, but I'm not gonna support bullshit.
Permanently closed.
What is? Sucker Free?
Yeah.
All right, then I can talk my shit then, right? Because I just feel like, man, you be on some bullshit, be playing music and shit. He did something that got him in trouble, and I think I remember now. Streetcar is still open. He owns that, but I've never eaten there, so it might be different work personnel, whatever. But yeah, man, I want to make sure that all my health people or somebody that's performing a service is battle tested, and I want more blacks to be in these positions. But again, I'm about to test your work, bro. Like that's just what I'm gonna do. Sorry. So I was talking to my wife. This is the last random shit that I'm gonna put in here. I was talking to my wife last week, and we were just watching the show late at night. I wanted to say it was probably Sunday when I got home. Thought we lost the episode. Glad we didn't. But she was looking at a dude. No, I'm okay with this. Like I was telling
you just paused at it, so I want to throw a little spice.
My bad. She was looking at a dude, and she's like, "Oh, he's cute." And then they showed his girl, and she's like, "Oh, he dates that? I don't want no parts of that. He's ugly to me now." And I said, "Damn, the switch up is that fast." Now, men, this is why I wish Jay was here.
Yeah, you should have saved that one.
As men, I want her to hear it first, and then we can go back to it because she's gonna listen to this regardless. As men, I feel like the only way that we would still find a woman attractive, but the only way that we wouldn't mess with them is if they mess with like somebody we was close to. Other than that, are you judging a girl based off of who they've been with?
Oh, 100%.
Like that would stop you from messing with them?
Maybe not that.
Okay, there we go. Because like in her mind, like it was like he was totally off limits. Like he's
But
ugly.
it's also different because she's looking at like, oh, he's ugly to me now because she's only thinking like relationship, would I date him, blah blah blah. We're just over here like I'd probably still fuck her, but I wouldn't take her serious.
No, she was mad because of the type of woman he was
no
with.
I know, but
oh, matter of fact, she was a girl. That's right, it was 90 Day Fiance.
Yeah,
and it was a Botox girl.
You
though.
said Sunday, right?
Yeah, it was Sunday, but like it was randomly on, but it was like one of the dudes, but like the girl had like one of the suave dudes because she normally like me. I was gonna say us, me, not us. She's already like me, my type of people, but she was like, yo, like his girl got all the Botox, the ass injections, like her face look a little swollen and shit like that. If he like girls like that, he's ugly to me. I was like, yo, that's fucking crazy. Now,
respect.
Yeah, but like I'm like that way. Like if girls wear like too
that's
much makeup
Kendrick
and
was
shit like
talking
that.
about.
What do you mean? What you?
They confuse themselves with real women.
That is a good point.
I think real women can identify with that. Like, yeah, these bitches is fake.
Yeah,
if that's what you like, I
but
don't
would
need
that
like
stop
you.
you? Some of them, yes. Like you look scary to me, right? But the ones that like you got all that shit and they look natural. If like a girl was hating, that's not gonna stop me, miss. I'm sorry. Like
stop you from what though?
I might even if I look. First of all, this is a hypothetical conversation. So if I were to partake in that, right, I would take someone serious after a while. It'd take me a while to like get to that point. Like my first instinct is to we just messing around, and then you got to prove to me that we about to be serious. That's always been my demeanor.
Yeah, but I think the red flag, I guess, would be like, oh, if all this work is done, there is a lot of insecurity and trauma. Do I want to go through all that just so I can hit a couple times or just, whatever? And don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's some dope girls that get work done too, but maybe to a certain extent, or maybe because but there's an insecurity there that might be deep that you gonna have to deal with.
I think it goes to that old saying though, like we like women for how they look, and women like men for like who they are.
Which is why when she said that, she's like, yeah, aesthetically he's cute, but she's looking past that. I'm judging you by who you surround yourself with in this capacity, and I don't like that, so now I don't like you as much.
What I should have asked her was, because she knows that he's a model, like, would your thought process change if he was a doctor?
I mean, maybe it'd help a little bit. Like, oh, he does that and he gets some money.
Like, I've been watching the balloon popping videos. That shit's still fire, right? And, like, old girl was like, oh, what do you do? He was like, I'm a truck driver. She had 2 left. She's like, well, what did you do again? He was like, oh, I'm an intern at NASA. She was like,
oh, yeah, for sure.
And she went over and popped the truck driver balloon. She's like, I'm going to go with NASA. He popped the balloon after she did that. I was like, nah, you only messing with me because of what I do. And I was like, bro, the game is the game.
I mean, if that's your standard, like, I get it, but you got to understand. That's what I used to tell my guy when he was like, had his standard of woman, the way he described her, and it was like, the details were so like whatever. I was like, that's cool as long as you cool with being single for a long time, because you done cut out so much of the labor pool. You only got so much to choose from if you want to hit all these boxes and you don't have no give.
That's what I want to teach my daughter when she get older. It's like, yo, like these, we'll call those tier 1, right? Tier 1 doctors, lawyers, businessmen and all that. When you meet them, they're the biggest dickheads you'll ever meet. Like I used to see it, I still hear them talk here and there because I go to the golf course and run into them. But these dudes is complete assholes. And it's like, yo, you like that shit? Like, that shit's dope to you? Like, I feel like personality, like, and I don't feel like that's a big thing anymore. Like, I do feel like there's more women giving the little guy a chance, right? Like, I look at Simone Biles. Her husband is like some, like, he just playing the league. He's not a star.
But he makes millions of dollars.
Yeah, but I feel like, okay, so then you take
You're comparing her to her.
Not
that's
millions of dollars. He probably makes league minimum, if that.
He's a starter.
Don't mean he makes millions.
I don't know if you've seen these contracts recently, but even the league minimum is like
after taxes and all that shit.
See, now
you
you're doing that.
Less people.
I'm talking about his contract, though.
But I'm saying he ain't no superstar, and when he goes,
he's not a superstar,
and only you and I know about him.
He's
you
not
gonna ask my mother right now. My mom don't know who the fuck Simone Biles' husband is, or my wife.
No.
She watched the documentary.
The NFL is different though. NFL, there's only a few people that the average Joe is gonna know that doesn't watch.
Then again, I don't watch Green Bay Packer games, but I don't think they be because like, oh, his wife Simone Biles have the helmet blah, blah, blah.
It's hard. It's hard to figure like there's not a lot of stars in the NFL like that because they be under that helmet.
I get
you
it.
walk past these offensive linemen because they're big. You might take a guess, but you don't know who these people are.
Well, here's the thing. Jay's here now, and now I want to ask this question to her. So we're gonna cut out real quick, and then we're gonna start. We're rolling.
Wow! Tell me how you really feel.
No, I was asking, is that what you mean?
No, I think you guys have really good banter.
So the banter's really good with you too. Here we go, and we're gonna make sure it's good right now. So I just cued in Jay in regards to what we were talking about, and I told her the story about my wife and the 90-day fiance, and now we're going to get the woman's perspective. I personalized the question so that she can answer it by asking, hey, look, if you found out that before that your significant other liked this type of person, right, and you saw a photo of that while you're in that relationship, does that kind of change a little bit of your views on them?
Oh, you know what? I actually did find photos of.
See, the banter's there.
I'm getting him in trouble from some old shit.
I know, right? He's like, damn, we were past that.
No, literally.
He was keeping old photos, huh?
No, literally. And I actually had to make an agreement with him, or I don't want to say, it wasn't an ultimatum, but I just was like, hey, by the time we get married, these photos of these hoes, multiple hoes.
Why they gotta be hoes though? I want to know why they gotta be hoes.
Yeah, like some Polaroids?
No, in his phone.
Oh.
And
that's fair.
And it wasn't just picture of just like him smiling next to women. It was like pictures
OnlyFans?
Exactly.
Oh, he was over. Oh, he still had some game film.
Dude, exactly.
Oh,
okay. He had no vault?
This dumbass.
My vault gone, but I mean,
Exactly.
I got rid of. No, it's gone. It's been gone since
Clown.
maybe the second week of our relationship. I got rid of my vault.
See, and that's exactly what you're supposed to do.
Second week of our relationship, I got rid of my vault.
How long?
Your phone must have broke or something. It must have been by luck, by
No, I
chance.
deleted it. I
Yeah,
deleted it.
that's
like,
a whole
willingly.
nother conversation,
I don't think I've
like-
ever told her that. So now, like, listening to this shit's crazy. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah,
Back to you,
yeah.
Jay.
No, but that's a whole nother conversation. When you when?
No, we're
what's-
going there next.
What's the time frame?
We're going
Okay,
there next. We're
we'll
going there
revisit
next because
that.
you got me.
Yeah. So, and
shit.
oh shit.
Check my shit.
He said, "Hold on, let me send emails and then delete it." So, my life is like 90 Day Fiance. My husband is Middle Eastern. He's from Turkey. A lot of the reason why we got married is, the reason why we got married is so he could become a citizen. And it was my idea because we had these goals and these business plans, and it was like, well, we can't do it unless you are legit, But anyways, so when I saw these said photos of these women, and these women were beautiful. I mean,
Okay, that was my next question.
that's
Would you admit it? Would you admit it? Like, yo,
yeah, they were banging. Like,
But that-
there was Latina, there was black women. My
Oh,
husband,
he hit for the cycle.
shit, he
my
already with
husband
the-
definitely has a type for
But-
sure.
But that's my question though,
Huh.
because that goes along with what he's saying. I feel like most women would look at that and they would appreciate it because they're like, oh, I'm in line with them, and I'm only assuming. I don't know if all women do this, but they're measuring themselves against, because you're like, oh, this is my man now. Let me see what the track record is, or my quote unquote competition. This is who he's been with. Oh, if he sees me like here and I feel good about what I see here, that makes me feel good about myself. Versus, I feel like it goes on the same long as the cheating, right? I think some women won't be as mad if they're like, well, at least she's fine. If you cheated with an ugly bitch, I'd be really fucking upset.
But that's the thing. I feel like they would find anything to say that.
I'm not saying they're not going to be mad either way. I'm just saying they're going to be like, oh, they get really upset if, like, for real?
I don't know. First of all, the women were, in my opinion, way sexier than me. And so I was kind of like, my ego was hit a little bit. And these were sexy photos. These were sexy videos. And I was like, you haven't asked to do anything like this with me. And I'm
shit.
Exactly. And I'm down for that kind of, whatever. I'd be down.
Ah, that's funny.
And so-
I'll be down. It's funny.
But the way my husband put it, and he's very blunt. And he's can be, it feels like harsh in his language. But he was like, these women were like hoes. Like, you're like, and this was before we were married, but we were already about to get married. That's why this conversation came up.
Thing too.
And he was like, you're like my soon-to-be wife, or like I don't want videos or photos of you in my phone, or that could potentially get out. Like, he's like, I send some of these to like my friends. Like, I would never send a video or a
It's a real
photo
thing, too.
of me and you to anybody,
100%.
And so when he explained it like that, like, I understood, but it did make me feel it did
Right.
change the way I viewed him, because I was just like, damn, you're nasty like
But
this.
that's a different
And
level.
you kept it from me.
That's a different
motherfucker.
level because he's mostly talking about how a woman looks. You found something a little deeper than that where you're like, yo,
But not
But
even
they
that.
still, but they were still fine.
you
You're
trying to
saying
get it
looks,
like
but
that.
it's also what they do.
Hey.
Like for example, if we went to BJ's in La Mesa. Now that was one of my low key spots back in the day. So I'll get that
Pizookie?
off.
That ain't that low key.
I love a bazooki.
That's pretty low key.
Not for me anyway.
For me, I can yeah.
You see too many
Depending
heads?
on what time you go there.
My low key spot was the movie theater on East 8th Street.
That's pretty low key too. But I
The jump off.
don't know too many people that just be like, yo, I'm going to La Mesa. Like, I only went to La Mesa to, like, fucking, like, go to school, bro. Like, nobody, like, goes to that mall really anymore. So, like, when I was going there as an adult, I wasn't really running into anybody. And anybody that I knew, most people don't want to work at Jamba Juice at our age. You know what I mean? So, it's like, yeah. Like, who
what
am I
else
gonna-
over there? A Panda
Who am I
Express?
going to run into that works there? You know what I mean? Like so... But my point in saying that is that she like, ill. He came here, like it's like one of those, like,
Oh, dang.
yeah, it's like it's the thought, like you said, of your significant other with someone else and who they were, at that time period, right? So it's like the same thing. It's like, yo, does that change it? Or even if you met a dude, all right, we take it off the sig other. If you met a dude and you digging his vibe, and then you see like the brand of women that he usually dates, would that be like a turn off for you? Like, yo, you know what? If that's what you go for, I'm good.
Yeah, it would definitely raise. It would probably be a red flag or at least a yellow flag. It would raise an eyebrow. Like, I'm not your typical aesthetic or choice. Or like, I'm like, oh, that's your brand of woman. I don't know though. Not enough to, if I'm liking them and they're of good character, not enough to completely shut it down. But I mean, I don't know. I try not to judge other women or compare other women, but I could see how, like, if you meet a man and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, your last 3 girlfriends were strippers, like how that could be a little bit of a turnoff or a big turnoff.
Yeah.
So for me personally, it's not a deal breaker. It would, like, make me feel some type of way, but it's not something that's going to completely, like, make you unattractive to me.
As a man, if a dude had like a stripper, like as a girlfriend, and he met her at the strip club, not like on some other shit, like she started working there and they had an understanding, it's like a badge of honor. Because most women, for real.
People did that when I dated a Hooters girl. And they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. It's one of those, you know why? Because most women, when they're there, and knowing women that have stripped and shit like that and being in the strip clubs, like they're there to work.
Exactly.
So if you are able to like catch them on like whatever night you there or whatever, and they really digging your vibe after 80 dudes that come in, you start to feel lucky.
Wow, that's true.
As a man, like if the girl that likes like traditionally like finer dudes that I would think would be like, oh, that's a good looking dude or whatever, or like you like ugly dudes, I'm feeling lucky that you chose me, right? Versus
Blessed.
like not the other way around, and that's probably how we look at it differently, because it's like, yo, like although that the girl that this man was dating on that show or whatever, I don't find her to be attractive, right? Someone does, and this is what people with society would deem to call a high quality woman.
I saw a meme that said, hey, she's like, girl, go ahead and eat that donut. I've never seen anybody on my 600-pound life single. Somebody for everybody.
That's real. It's absolutely real. So I don't know. I just looked at it. I'm glad you came in when I asked that, because I was like, man,
That's a good one.
as long as you're not messing with my homies or nothing like that, I'm good. Like I don't care who you. Well,
But here's the thing.
All right, let's
you
hear
mess
it.
with my homies don't mean I won't mess with you. I'm just not going to take you serious.
It depends, right? Because like if my homie really likes you, then I'm not gonna do that.
No, that's different, because that's going to get your homie. When I'm just talking about how I think people are going to view me being with her. Like, I don't know how many Eskimo brothers you got.
A few.
Okay. I got a handful-ish.
Ish.
And the funny part is sorry, I heard Snoop in the background. So there's a group of Eskimo brothers that were all Eskimo brothers, but the one dude who dated her was the only one that didn't hit. And I was like,
That's kind of crazy.
damn. It was kind of crazy.
I've been that guy too. I kind of relate to that. Younger me, like before I had like a little self-confidence, yeah, I definitely took the easy path. Like, oh, I know the story, so I should be able to be.
I've been that woman.
Yeah. We're hitting something right now, But
I want to hear that.
But I've never been pushy, right? Well,
no, don't.
I've never been pushy.
Don't do that, because now you're making it sound like I'm forcing girls to do some shit.
What I'm saying is
No.
because when she's talking about, when she said she's been that woman, I said I've chased that girl. Is that I know my homie made it all the way to home base with you, and maybe some other guy messed with you. I'm expecting nothing less than maybe getting around second, going to third. But I might be stuck on first, just rounding, because it's like you might already know. Because in my mind, I'm like, yo, maybe they're not gonna put the connection, dumbass me, right? Like they're not gonna put the connection that I know this gentleman and this guy right here, and they know, and they don't want you to think that like, yo, you just running through all like yeah.
I think it's the timing, right? Not for the person I'm talking about, because I feel like that happened afterwards. But sometimes you'll run into the girl, and then once you run into her, it's more of, I'm trying to change it up and not do what I've been doing. I like, this guy's a nice guy. I think I can be different.
Yeah, well, I gotta be the nice guy. Yeah.
You were the end of the whole phase, and you just, that's what you did.
Exactly.
Oh my god! So you've been that person? Are
Yeah,
you
for
okay to
sure.
speak with that or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've definitely
Now,
been,
was it the dude that you didn't give the attention who was taking you serious? Was it people that he knew? Was it like close homies? Was it a bunch of? You know what? Never mind. That's
Calm
way too
down.
much. I'm asking way too much. My
Yeah,
bad.
yeah. She said,
Hey,
calm
calm
I got a
down.
little too excited.
was it a bunch of
So,
homies that ran through
my
you
bad.
first? Damn,
Did
dog.
they have on
I was
Timberlands?
thinking the microphone was off.
It's kind of.
Thinking the microphone was off.
The whole football team? Just the linebackers? Like,
Oh
what?
my god! But I mean, how is that? I've never heard about that on the other side. Like I got a few, no, for real, because like I be thinking I'm slick, or we don't speak on it, right? Like you don't speak on it, and you just go about your day. I've messed with girls that were roommates.
Wow. While they were living together?
Yeah, she went on vacation, called me up, and was like, "Yo."
That's why I don't think
told
like
me-
girls can be real friends.
She
'cause
told
Wild.
the shit that I've gotten off, I'm like, ain't
That's
no
not
fucking
true.
way.
Not all.
Ain't no fucking way.
But
I think of like, oh gosh, okay.
we're about to have fun.
Yeah,
This
we
is
are.
gonna be
Yeah, we
crazy.
are. Okay, here we go.
I can already hear how
You
this
can
sounds
already hear
sonically.
because
Yeah.
I get a little nervous. I'm like, oh dang.
And you see how I try to share to like
You did.
soften the blow for you.
You did. So I will say like it's definitely something that's like that I participated in and that I've been hesitant to participate in. For me, the example is the barbershop. I went to barber school. And so I had like when I was in barber school, I learned really quickly. I was like, okay, like there's a lot of fine guys here, a lot of talented fine men, but I can't be fucking them because I don't want my pussy being talked about in the barbershop.
That's a
Even
real
though I will say I've got a golden one. It's great. But as far as like having like respect, and the men, and it was already hard as a woman and the men flirting and the Riz. I want to use that. But anyway, so
That's a new one. I just heard of that
so,
too.
I did have an instance where I did end up being intimate with a barber. And I got to be careful what I say. And later on, years later, a different barber in the same shop started working there. And he was, putting up game. And I really was like, all right, I was feeling him. But in the back of my mind, I was like, damn, like I already fucked homie you work with. And like, if you tell him and then that's
He
weird.
he knew already though.
Do you think he knew? You think
I'm sure
like
he knew.
because you think
If we work together and we all know you, they know.
you think like he's like yeah.
You don't think he knew?
Like,
I
he's
think
like
it's
I
possible.
fucked.
I think you putting it out there. I don't think it's
How old were they?
cut and dry.
How old? What the age? What was their age at the time?
The first barber was a grown man, older.
Okay.
How close were they?
I mean they worked.
Work together is not enough for me to tell you. Oh, you just
I
by
would
the way.
say like the camaraderie in that shop is deep, and they were friends, and
But barbers
they worked
different
along
from-
each other for a while.
Barber's different from working from like a
But
desk job.
But
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
but
You just bullshit talking all
But
day.
but the OG barber, like I don't see him running his mouth like that.
Right,
You know
okay,
what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Unless it was like on an intimate, low key conversation. But then so I ended up doing what I did with the second younger barber years later, and I was like, damn,
Was it worth
I
it?
don't think no, it wasn't, and I don't think I've shown my face in that shop since. So.
Which one of them did you like the most?
The original for sure. And
But this doesn't
Yeah.
go with the premise, because the premise is then a barber comes along
yeah,
that dates you,
yeah,
and you don't let him hit
And-
because you're like, oh, I want,
and that's
I don't want to
happened
go too
too.
Well,
fast.
we
I don't
didn't
know,
ask her. 'Cause
That's definitely
That's what I've been
happened as
asking the
well.
whole
there
time.
could have been another one that showed up after that you probably said no to.
Oh well, yeah, because then I had a very like no more barber policy because I was like,
But
this
anyone
is
else that
messy.
they knew like hit you up or try to be extra friendly with you after? That's that half smile means.
I'm friendly with other
Barbers that
know each other and that work in that shop, but I wouldn't say any of them have ever tried to like get at me.
Yeah, see, that's where
Just
like
kept it friendly.
the time that I'm telling you, that was the first time that shit ever happened to me. Where it was like, yo, she said this, I gotta have it, and I was like, And at that point for me was like, oh shit, I'm him. Like I'm light skinned today, right? Like full on Chris Brown, like right. And I was like, you know what? Hell yeah, for the story. But now when you think back on it, because that shit sound with having kids and like them even playing this shit back years later, if they want to listen to me, it's like, yo, that shit sound crazy. Like, be better than me.
Did they know? Did the roommates ever end up finding out about one another?
No.
Oh, well, there you go.
No,
it never got messy.
And I don't even want to give a time period on this because I think one of them still like supports us. So it's like I don't want to say when this happened. It could be in the last 20 years.
Shout out to her. There's still 2 other hosts if you don't fuck with him.
And we love you.
Nah, I think you know what? I'm gonna leave it like that because if I give any more descriptors, it's gonna come out on who is who. But yeah, like when that person said that, I was like, oh shit, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But I've been on the other side where I've chased women who I knew that like, especially early on being young, 17, 18, it's high school, right? That's why I'd be afraid of middle school, high school. No offense to you. I know we start middle school tomorrow, but I'm afraid of middle school, high school because it's like, yo, as soon as you get word on the grapevine, and now the way that social media is now, before we just had MySpace. Yo, you could talk on Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, you know, all these places where you could DM and hide it. And like, it's harder for us to figure out, yo, what app are you even using right now? You can use your homegirl's phone. You know what I mean? And start Instagrams if you wanted to and say, hey, let me log into my shit.
When I was in 9th grade.
Oh, my.
I don't want to say my man's because he wasn't really my man's, but I'll just say it my man's lost his virginity in a threesome.
Oh,
damn!
Now the 2 girls he lost it
coming
to,
in hot.
The 2 girls he lost it to wasn't anything I'd really look twice at.
That's
right?
crazy.
And the people I was around, same thing. But the way people kind of switched up, giving these girls attention after they knew that happened was like,
crazy.
You know what I mean? I was still like, I'm cool. I'm cool.
I'm trying to handle one.
But yeah, it was I thought that was funny just because the information came out like, oh, I know we're all, 9th grade? You're what, 14, 15-ish? And you're just,
14,
you just out here. And they were just like, oh, as long as they have a pulse.
Yeah.
They just out here trying to get it done.
Men are like that. Women are very selective about that, man. And which I understand, right?
That's kind of not every woman's like that.
Most women are.
Most for sure. I just want to generalize.
The things that women, in my experience, the things that women cue in on are things that I would never even think about. Like in terms of what they find to be attractive. Like we go straight at like breast, ass, and like shape. They go after more like personality, charisma, shit like that. And like, and when I figured that out, like I said, it took me a long time to figure that out. But I was like, damn. Like some of the things I was doing or that I thought like had merit, like having cool clothes and shit like that, that shit don't even fucking matter.
Let me go a little deeper on the one girl I was speaking of about that kind of started this whole premise. So one of her friends, I had a conversation with her because she moved away eventually. And I had a conversation with one of her friends. And she came up to me and was like, she was mad at first. She's like, why y'all do her like that? And I was like what? Because didn't nobody that, at least that I was talking about, didn't nobody do her foul. She kind of approached us, right? And that's how I was like, hey, nah, it wasn't even like that. Like, she's like, she cool. We fucks with her. Like, it's not even on some like, oh, we weren't sitting here saying, it's your turn. It's your turn. It wasn't nothing like that.
Like you guys are like,
it wasn't nothing like that. It was more so. Now there was maybe one of the people I know that was like, oh, but he was earlier on to the point where I wouldn't even put that on him like that.
Are men not hesitant to sleep with someone that their friend has slept with? There's no like.
It depends.
I guess it depends, but
like if you really like, I don't know if you were here, but if he really liked the girl.
Yeah, for
back
sure.
Then I'd be like, nah.
If you really, but this was not the case.
But if you were just doing that whole 18 to 24 run that we was doing, and you just, that was just like that time.
And he talking about 18 to 14. This is more 16 to 19 run.
Well, because in college it was the same thing though. Like we used to.
Right, I'm just talking about this specific story. So she's asking, and then I'm like, I don't know what you heard or what she said, but didn't nobody do her foul? At least to me, and I was around for pretty much this whole run. And she's
About to come
she's
back
like,
to-
honestly, no, I was just upset because I couldn't get through to her head that you guys weren't taking her serious. And I was like, I'm gonna speak for me, and I'm pretty confident that I can speak for a couple of these dudes. I didn't nobody lead her on, right? And she's like, you know, as the conversation went on, I finally pulled it out of her that she wasn't mad at me, she was mad at her. And then I was like, well, why are you mad? She's like, because I just thought the reason was so stupid. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? She's like, she went after a lot of you guys because of how you were with each other. And I was like, what you mean? Because she liked being around everybody because of y'all dynamic. The way, like, the banter, like, and it kind of reminded me when you
That's
walked
kinda
in,
sad.
you guys are funny without me, right? And she's like, you guys are so funny. But then when you guys are together, like, the funny kind of, like, it turns up even another notch.
Yeah.
And she was just blown away by it because a lot of us are different in different ways.
Yeah.
And I was like, she told you all this?
Wow.
Well, I was like, hey, whatever.
I understand that.
I
Me
get
too.
it.
But then I
It's kind
don't.
of sad too, though. At the
I
same
won't
time.
fuck
No,
the
yeah, she
guys
definitely
then.
has some issues.
Yeah. I
Which is why, why are you taking her serious, bro?
Yo, that's
Like, what
kinda,
are you doing?
that's kind of crazy. I understand that because I've seen that. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, yeah, I've definitely met groups of men and the dynamic I like, and it's
There were
funny.
specific ones you like.
I can imagine like 3 or 4 different separate group of men's that are friends that I know, including you guys. The humor, the dynamic, the charisma, the jokes, but in those incidents, I mean, I'm married now, but even before that, I would like suppress. I still suppress like actually like hooking up with any guys in those groups because it's like the same as the barbershop talk. I don't want them talking about it, and I don't want them losing like respect for me or thinking I'm a groupie, and then I don't get to like retain the friendship with those guys. You know?
Yeah, it's never the same.
We retained the friendship with her, 100%.
You guys
It's
never looked at it
but it's weird. Don't do that. It's weird though.
It's weird, but
Amal, are
it's
you
weird.
giving me the green?
Because like
the only thing we
with
ever
the-
talked about was like, what is wrong with you? The fact that you just wanted to go date her and be like real.
Even the homies that I knew, like, there's been times where like one dude messed with this chick, this one messed with that one, then they flip flop like 8 months later, and then maybe I try to shoot a shot once, and then like even hanging out in that dynamic, oh, this shit weird. Like we all know, you know we know. Stop it.
No, I know brothers who.
That was my next question.
I
if y'all knew
know
any family members.
brothers who have fucked the same woman. I gotta be careful how I, like no time frames, no nothing. And eventually one got serious with her.
Oh, I can't see.
And not everybody knew, and she didn't know. And
She didn't know what.
she didn't know.
She was there both times.
No.
So I was like,
Sorry, she didn't know that other people knew. Obviously,
Oh, okay.
And then also, the brother also had a girlfriend. So there's 2 brothers. They fucked the same girl. So there's the girl they fucked, and then there's a girlfriend, the current girlfriend of one of the brothers. She didn't know that her, sister-in-law had fucked her
Oh, shit.
man.
It sounds,
that
it
sounds
sounds
like
like the story I told a long time ago, huh?
And so, I would
And
just
I found
feel-
out at the wedding. Oh,
Lord, so it just felt like a little awkward at times, and I hate being privy to information like that because
Yeah, fuck me
I don't
up.
want to feel like I'm like lying or withholding, but I also don't like to get into people's like business.
Yeah.
It's not my place.
No, I feel you there.
So yeah, ugh.
Let's
It
argue-
gets tricky.
Let's argue some more about some shit that I know that it's going to bring a point of contention.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. Go ahead, hit my hand claps. Here we go. Read them and weep. That was. I didn't think we was going to land there. It was, you got here right on time. We got there a little extra longer. We got another subsection. Am I in the wrong for refusing to let a friend move in after they got evicted? My friend 25 and I have been close for years, but lately her behavior has been all over the place. She got evicted from her apartment because she wasn't paying rent. She was spending her money on other things instead, and she asked if she can move in with me until she got back on her feet. I live in a small 1-bedroom apartment, and I really value my space and privacy. Plus, I've seen how irresponsible she's been lately, and I'm worried she'll bring that chaos into my life. I told her I'm not comfortable with her moving in, but I'd help her look for other options. She blew up at me saying I'm not a real friend and that I'm abandoning her when she needs help the most. Some mutual friends think I'm being too harsh, but I don't want to compromise my own well-being. Am I in the wrong for refusing to let her move in? Now, I feel like I'm going to get my shit off first so that whatever heat I take, I deserve it, right? Because I know we all come from different backgrounds and everything, so I want to be sensitive in this topic, but I'm going to speak about a good friend of mine who I was just yelling at today. I asked you a couple of weeks ago, Lex, I said, yo, would you name me a scenario where you would take 16% on a vehicle? You told me never, right? I asked my mother the same question. I asked, my friend D the same question. We got a common friend who we know deals with mental health issues, right? No problem with me, bipolar, right? And my thing is, as long as you snap back into it when you talking to me, we not going to lash out. We going to be good. But because of this, right, this person cycles through jobs every 3 or 4 years. High-paying jobs, right? So there are moments of really doing well. When I'm saying taking 16%, I'm talking about a BMW SUV of what they're taking 16% on. It didn't make sense to me, right? Because they had a working vehicle at the time. But I've known this person to live out of their vehicle for a few months, come stay with us. They don't live in the city, but they'll come down, stay with us, stay with their folks or whatever, rebound, get right back to where they are. And we don't hear from them for a year, and then we'll get an update. That's just been our relationship. So I let this person know. I said, look, you buy this car and you're currently in a work situation like you normally are. You're on that time frame. I said, you can't ask me for help this time. I have kids now, right? You can't stay here. My wife runs a business, within our home. You got to get fingerprinted and all this other shit. I do all my shit legit because you're not fucking up anything we got going on because we got kids that depend on us. So I feel like if somebody is irresponsible and if I'm as your friend, I should be able to tell you, one, you're acting irresponsibly and my help can only go this far with you, right? I understand your circumstances. But if I'm telling you, right, in different parts of your story, and you may think I'm wrong because all it is advice. If I'm telling you, in different parts of your story, hey, you fucking up right here, and you don't fix it, right? I can see if you try, but if you don't fix it and you continue the behavior, I can't assist you there because now you're being negligent, and what you're doing can now affect us in our relationship. So I can only help you in this capacity. That's how I view it. Now, if there was someone who was in need, for example, I had another family member stay with us for a year and a half, right? And they actually took heed to everything that I was saying, and it worked out because they ended up getting their own spot, right? I had prerequisites. You got to have a job when you stay in here. Got to give me your paycheck when you come in here or amount, right? I'm not keeping it. That's for you when you move out, right? And if you're not doing those things, you got to go, right? We've talked about this a little bit before. But I don't think this person is in the wrong based off of the red flags that are there. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
So, any of you guys want to weigh in on that?
It's a highly evolved take, and that's how I would talk to other people in the situation. The problem is the people pleaser in me. I'll be letting a lot of shit slide. So I give them the game. They'll be negligent, still making poor decisions, and I can't really put it in me to go all the way you know what, you just can't be here no more.
That's right. You have been in this situation
but
before. Yeah.
At the same time, yeah, I think the new me, I think I could get there. Let me not say that too quick.
What would you say?
Well, because what you do, you kind of do what the IMF does to a lot of the world, what we call moral hazard, right? People out here are more likely to take risks because they have you as a safety net. I know I can go do this and fuck it off because when shit get tough, I got this person I can call. And so they continue to take the risk. They don't learn from the mistake. And so a lot of these countries make these poor investments because they think the U.S. is going to bail them out, and they bail them out every time. So when it comes to the IMF, now they'll put a stipulation on it. We're going to give you this money, but in turn, we going to control this until the shit is square. Because we know what we doing, and judging by your work, you don't know what you're doing. And so that's basically what you're doing, and it works better that way. The issue comes up when you're dealing with the people pleaser because they don't know how to say no, and it ends up being a detriment to them because now they can't learn for real, and it's a detriment to whoever that person is because now they're taking on more stress, more bandwidth, whatever the case may be, to deal with what's about to happen, what comes with all that. But no, they're not in the wrong.
Yeah.
They're just very mature.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. I don't think they're in the wrong at all. I think that they are setting healthy boundaries. And, you know, I've been someone who's stayed with friends with my daughter for, God, how long? A year, almost 2. And, you know, it's hard. And I think if you don't have the capacity or the space, or if you just don't want to, like she said, she values her privacy, I think the friendship is better off for it, like saying that, you know. And she still offered her, like, you know, I can help you look into other resources. Like, I'm not just trying to leave you high and dry. I just don't think that this is the best for, you know, us and our relationship. I think where it gets hard is, like, where it can get gray is, like, this person was, like, negligent, right? So, like, irresponsible. And we don't know why. You know, it could be they could be mental health episodes and their erratic behavior. It could be they just really are a moocher, irresponsible. You know, I think that, like, it does get gray because I know when I've been in, like, a debilitated mental health episode and living with friends and them feeling like I'm not following the blueprint that they set for me or that we discussed, and me being like, I literally just have, like, the energy to do these things to contribute to the household and then, like, just survive, you know. And I'm sorry that you don't feel like I'm doing more, you know, more with the opportunity of staying with you. But it's like, I'm doing this, all I can do. So it gets tricky, though, when you're not able to have those conversations comfortably, and people get resentful.
That's
and
what I
there's
was
a
gonna
lot of
ask you.
misunderstanding, and, you know, friendships diminish. And my friendship in both of those instances, they ended, you know, or they kind of, not like they faltered out. One I'm reckoning, and one is, you know, we're like distant friends now. But so, you know, I think that, like you said, it's a very mature and healthy way of being like, hey, I know for me, like, it's hard for me too, because I've been in some, you know, fucked up positions, and I've been in times of dire need, and I've had, you know, some people say no, some people say yes. Like, I want to be able to, like, always pay that forward. You know, my husband, he knows a lot of his friends are, like, undocumented, and they go through, like, where they live in their car, and they go through times that I'm like, well, why don't you tell them to, like, come spend the night and sleep? Like, you know, Jaylee's not here, they can sleep in the extra room. Like, we remember what it's like, you know, not sleeping in a bed, sleeping in the car, like, going mad because, you know, it's crazy to be in a car all day. And him being like, you know, I want to help them, but, like, we have the twins and, you know, and he's like, you know, you like to sleep naked, and, you know, like, what if you forget? And, like, he's here, and, like, you know, so he's just like, it's different. You know, you want to be able to help people, but like you said, you got a family, you got kids, so.
That's crazy that you get to see that, like, on both sides based off of what you said. Like, one being the person in need of help, and then 2 being the person of, like, yo, I'm going to reject the help, but knowing that situation, it's so fucked up.
It is.
But that's also another thing too with me is knowing how hard it is. Like, man, I got a whole family now. This shit is a whole different level.
Yeah.
Because I know that I could be in a fucked up situation and I won't ask. Like, if I get down bad like that, I'm not gonna come to you because I know the situation. Even if it's like, yo, it'd be kind of stupid to not ask.
Yeah.
But because of that whole thing, like, nah, I am not going to add to that plate because I know that plate.
It's just as hard to offer, too, though.
Yeah, but sometimes people, like, you know, like you said the other day, like, people know that I'm solid. So even though, and people always say, because they know how much I always have going on and the circumstances and the stress. But I always tell my people, like, I don't care what's happening in my life. Like, if you need me, call me, and if you don't, I'm more offended, you know what I mean? Like, and I find that you know, because people know, like, I'm going to come through, like, I try, like, I do, like, I'm never shutting people down. So, like, you know, my husband the other night, we said, okay, we let the guy spend the night. Or, like, he's come and taken a shower a few times. And, like, my husband will cook dinner and take him out extra. So we try to find, like, those.
Like a common ground.
Exactly. Like, we're never going to be able to, like, completely shut somebody down. As long as we don't feel like our safety's in jeopardy. We're always going to do a little bit of at least what we can, because we, you know, had people do that for us, and it goes a long way.
In that same vein, right, do you feel like the two people that you said, one of them you're reconciling with and the other one is kind of like, well, you know, it's not there?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you harbor resentment because of the no's or because of the alternation in planning?
No, you know, I don't think so at all. I think, like, there is one person I definitely harbor resentment, and they're not either one of these people. I think that, like, I wish we could have, like, more in-depth conversations, and, you know, we could kind of explain, because I stayed with both of these people, so it wasn't like they said no to me.
Right.
You know, it was just like the outcome of the friendship, you know, kind of dissolving. And so I wish there could be follow-up conversations that could, like, clarify things, like, where it could be like, this is what was really going on versus, like, what you perceived, and vice versa. But no, there's no resentment. In fact, I think for me, I'm very grateful, and I feel like there was a lot of grace given, and they probably have a lot of resentment towards me, though, which is probably why, you know.
That's why I hate that, because I feel like I take, in this situation, right, I feel like I take the driver's seat, and we're no longer operating as friends anymore.
Yeah.
I'm more of a mentor in that capacity because of where you may be at. That's why when we were talking about, like, last week, what was going on with him, like, I take, like, people, they used to get on me and be like, yo, you want to be the fun friend, right? And I'm like, look, you got to understand something. The person that you want me to be in this type of dynamic will ruin our friendship. That is automatic. Because right now, at this point, like, I don't need to be an authoritative figure in anyone's life, right? That I deem to be a friend. We're all grown individuals. All I can do is offer support and say, hey, look, man, like, you know, if you need help, you know, this is what I'm noticing or whatever. If you need help, let me know.
Yeah.
Other than that, they got to be willing. If not, I'm taking, like, an authoritative approach, and I'm like, I can't do that. To the point where he hit me on the side and was like, yo, thank you for just treating me like an adult. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, like sometimes that's so hard to get to for some people. But when you don't have the bandwidth, or you don't understand, like, some of those things, are like, hey, life is just going to be hard for all of us at one point.
Yeah.
Right? Like at one point I lived here. You know what I mean? I was, you know, I couldn't afford to be out here. I had to work my way up.
Yeah.
And I had to get help, you know, and I had to, you know, hear a few no's from my mom on certain things I would ask her. But that didn't affect my relationship with her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Most people, when I've had that happen, or I let somebody stay and I kick them out or something, rest in peace, Everett. You know what I mean? It was just like, yo, man, like I'm trying to help you out or whatever, and now we fighting out here in front of the porch. You know what I mean? Like, shit like that. I'm kicking on, and I'm acting like a scoring X, throwing your shit outside the house. You know, talking about, yo, get your shit, get the fuck up out of here, blah, blah, blah. He's like, you crazy. I don't give a fuck what you think I am, bro.
Real love gets passionate.
Living with someone change, like, you could love someone to death, but living with someone is a different, different thing.
Absolutely.
It is, absolutely. And it can strengthen relationships, it can test them, and it can dissolve them.
That's why them old school parents, they be like, oh, y'all ain't gonna be living together before marriage. You ain't gonna be just shacking up, playing house and all that. Like, hey.
They knew they wouldn't make it if they did all that before.
You know what? That's a real thing. Did you live with your husband before y'all got married?
Yeah, for a few months. Like I said, we're 90-day fiancé, so we got married quickly.
Yeah, but I gotta live with you first.
Yeah, but we did.
Yeah, I can't see, like, yo, like, if my daughter came home and said, yo, it's my boyfriend and we about to move in together, cool. You don't feel like you have to get married.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I'm okay with that. If the gentleman is a nice gentleman and, you know, you're respectful, that's the most you're gonna get. You just hope, you know, that the worst don't happen. But, like, yo, live with them first. Practice it.
Trial.
Yeah, because that old shit.
Oh, she practices.
I'm serious.
Okay.
In that context, I'm okay with, though. Right? Because as crazy as that fucking comes across, I'm okay with that because it's like, look, I don't want you to feel like you're trapped underneath this person.
Exactly.
You know, at any point in time, if you there, because matter of fact, you're going to learn more about that person and their everyday habits. I always tell my wife this. I'm like, yo, if we break up, she don't believe me. I was like, if we break up or whatever, I probably won't hit the scene. I only got like 5 outfits. You know what I mean? After 5 dates, I got nothing else for you. Can I wear sweats, please?
Mix and match.
Yeah, this is not me. I wear this all the time, right? I'm comfortable in this. I don't want to get dressed.
Yeah.
We went out to the bar the other day. I was like, yo, why am I dressed right now? Like, I want my loose fitting pants. I feel old as shit.
That's a thing. I literally told my husband today, I was like, he was like, what should I wear? And I was like, you know, what you want to wear, what you feel good in. And he, you know, kind of first was just like half-assing it, you know, leisure wear. And I was just like, he was like, is this cool? And I was like, man, like, do you not want to look good for me? Like, do you not want to look good for the family? Like, I'm like, I was like, well, you know, like, not to be humbly, I was like, look at me. Like, you know, don't you want to, like, match my shine? Don't you want to, like, match?
But see, I also to be like, well, shit, I be in the gym. Or I'll be doing whatever. Like, I keep, like, okay, maybe what I put on my body, you don't like all the time, but I try to take care of my body.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, maybe you dressing and doing all this, but you ain't hit the treadmill in 6-7 months.
This is fair, but it's just like it's like the effort, you know what I mean? And most of the time, I don't care, you know, but I'm like, you know, once in a while, and especially because, you know, when he goes out with the boys, like, I'm like, oh, you look nice then, dog.
Well, that's because hoes are going to be around.
Exactly. So I'm like, all of a sudden, you know how to fucking dress, you know how to put some mousse in your hair. He be asking me, do my hair for me. I'm not doing your hair for you to go
about that. You're right, because if I go out downtown somewhere right now, I'm getting dressed up.
And as does my husband.
With pride.
And looking good and looking like a snack.
Because in our minds,
I definitely cut my hair
damn,
before.
I forgot you look like that.
She get this version to be honest.
Because
he's in there trimming, shaving the beard, doing the hair.
The whole night, you get
Where's that energy?
Because we got there's some primal level instincts that kick in where it's like, okay, I'm not trying to. I've conquered this land.
Wow.
I want to see if I still got it. Right?
I don't know if I'm gonna write you right here.
I need to see if I still got. And also, I'm still maybe not always on the dressing part, but I'm always gonna keep myself groomed and whatever for my lady.
Okay.
And I'll do it for myself too, to the point where it's like it's not like I'm letting myself go because like, oh, I got you already.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I noticed she get dressed like she get dressed for work. Like me, I throw on a polo and
some people like to get. You was telling me, and then because you was telling me about old boy, who's like 40, 50 or whatever, but he still become like he be trying his best to get dressed at work.
I like
Jordans
when I work in the office.
Yeah.
I love getting dressed for work. I love cute little office wear. It's fun.
Yeah, I mean, I got a new wardrobe, and they were like, "Oh, like you look nice now." I was like, "Yeah, went to
Target now.
Went to Target, get a little quick pickup because I don't buy clothes like that."
But so never like you know, like you said, your wife is cute, and when she's like, oh, you know, looks all cute when you guys go out, and your daughter looks cute, and your son looks all handsome, you're never like, oh, maybe I should step it up a little.
I think she looked fire today when we went to breakfast, and I wore something similar to this.
Okay, you all are the same.
But
my husband stays dressing very similar too.
But certain shit, okay, here, and we're gonna start talking about vanity a little bit though, right? Like I feel like I drive a nice vehicle.
Yeah. Anytime
I talk to like anybody that got money that dress like this or whatever, they don't like outwardly show it.
No, I think you guys dress fine. I think like this is leisure wear. I wear. You guys see me how I look most of the time.
I'd be about to go to bed and what I be wearing here.
I'm talking about like when you go out, like you know, out
I'll get dressed
lunch.
with her.
But you said you didn't get dressed for brunch or breakfast.
No, I'm not getting dressed for that. But we got to go to like a concert. We got to go to like a venue,
like date night.
Yeah, date night. I'll get dressed for it. But if we just going to eat, and I know I'm gonna eat a lot, then let me wear what I feel comfortable.
But like if you're having like you know a family outing, you're going to brunch, you're going to go do a little activity, you're going to a birthday party, like. You know, the unit, you want to look polished as a unit.
You know what, though? The giveaway is that if we do go to a birthday party, it's usually like, you know, they're on Saturdays and Sundays. I'll play golf before, so I'm still in like my golf outfit, which is like pretty presentable in the first place. It's a collar shirt with some pants like that.
Yeah, it's a little more polished.
I think it's also different because in you know, traditional setups and everything, as the man, the head of household, whatever, as long as the whole unit looks good, it doesn't matter as much if he looks good. Now, if the kids was looking dusty, his wife was maybe
logic. That's man logic.
I
agree
feel
with
that.
you.
Sometimes,
but it's also like, hey, my kids look good all the time.
Oh,
I don't give a fuck what I look like.
That's real. You should see me. You running around here 5-7 days a week, looking
Fucking
busted.
6-year-old with a fucking $45 haircut. Fuck out of here.
Not on that,
but my kids will always look, polished and or at least presentable, and I'll run out there with no bra, hair not done, in a muumuu.
Yeah, but I feel like we're successful if my kids look good and my wife look good.
Right, that's what I mean.
Trash.
Yeah, that's what he's
that's how
saying.
I'm looking at it. Like, okay, the unit looked good to where,
They're
the head of
holding
the
it.
unit is like, okay, cool. He's putting all the resources to make sure they're good. And so someone got to sacrifice. Hey, we live in Dago too. Like, hey.
But you know what? I've never strayed from this because, like, I felt like the same way I dress now is the same way I kind of dress, when she and I first met, which is like I'll wear some basic tees, some nice pants and some nice shoes, right?
Yeah.
And now, like, the shorts and shit like that, that's new. But, like, Monday through Friday, I get dressed anyway for work.
Yeah.
So it's like she always sees me like, oh, look at you going out all nice. But then she gets weekend like I'm tired of me, right? That's like, I don't want to get dressed up anymore, right?
That's real.
But now I'm a supervisor too, right? So, like, my boss, and she black, my boss is black, so she talked to me different. Like,
Does she not code switch with you? She keeps it like...
no, she code switches. Like not like on my side code switches.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Yeah, she be like,
Okay.
what's wrong with you? Why are you looking like that today?
Yeah.
And like that cuts deep for me because that's like a PTSD thing from being young.
Oh.
Your mom be like, yo, why are you coming out the house looking like that? You know
yeah,
what I mean?
I feel
And so
that.
like now when she says it to me,
Brush
like
your goddamn
I gotta go
hair.
buy some new. Yeah, like she like your hair ain't combed or nothing. I go home cut my hair the next day because shit fuck with me a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's why I tell my stepson, I'm like, yo, man, like somebody's gonna say something to you one day, and it's gonna fuck with you, and you gonna stop. You got to come to school musty one time. Somebody be like, yo, who that smelling like that? You put on some deodorant now.
I've been talking to my daughter about that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, do you want to be the musty, dusty girl? Like, do you?
And we remember that.
We're teaching them hygiene. So I'm like, putting lotion on, washing your face, like, just taking care of yourself, because as you're entering this phase in your life, like, people take notice. But it's not only like, do it because of others, but it's also do it because do you want people to talk shit to you, but also
Do you remember
take
who was
care of
musty when
yourself.
you were young?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I still remember. The first one I remember, I remember
Don't
when
say
I
that.
found out my girlfriend, like in elementary school, was crazy. It was a cute relationship though, like pecks on the lip. I was just excited.
In elementary, you're
Hell
pecking
yeah.
on the lips?
Fifth grade.
Oh, wow.
Man.
Fifth grade. She married to a pastor now.
Amen.
Oh, you kept tabs on it.
Yeah, we're still friends on Facebook.
Okay.
But like all these years, I don't talk to her or nothing like that. I haven't talked to her in years, but she's married to a pastor. I see them on there. But like I remember a few days she came out a little tart. I was like, God damn.
Not tart. You almost made me snort. Not tart.
There's another one at Skipper. I was like, yo. And now I'm friends with her on Instagram and I can't see her to say she looks a lot better now. But I'm like, damn, she was musty as hell when we was younger.
The older me will look back and be like, I guess it's tough for kids in general, but women especially, all the changes their body goes through in that time frame to like, the older me is like, oh, you know what, that wasn't fair. Like they're trying to catch up. Everything's happening so fast. That just is natural,
Oh,
right?
you shoot him bail?
No, the older me in the dime frame, you're just like, damn, bitch, take a shower or whatever it is. Like,
But now and like, working with kids, it's like hygiene is also often a signal of like, not wealth, but like a circumstance or like where poverty level. So a lot of our kids that are dealing with hygiene issues, it's because they're lacking hygiene care. They're lacking the products that they need. Or they're not having those conversations. So, like, I used to teach a class when I worked for the Boys and Girls Club. I taught it at different Boys and Girls Club, which was, like, teaching. It was middle school to high school girls, 11 to 18, teaching them about hygiene and everything from how to, like, properly dispose a pad, take it off, fold it up, wrap it in toilet paper, place it, kind of stick it under to the side. And like, I had those conversations with my daughter because, we assume, like you said, girls are learning things so fast. And, you'd be surprised how many women I've talked to that are my age that are like their mothers never taught them the proper hygiene care to deal with their periods and the steps and the process.
I don't know anything
and,
about that either.
You know, I had those conversations with my daughter, and even my daughter was like, you know what, Mom, thank you for like having conversations like this with me. I know that not all of my friends get this because they don't like know what to do.
Your daughter sounds very insightful. Every time you bring this shit up, I be thinking she's like 18.
No, yeah, she
19.
she came back from two camps this summer, and all of her camp leaders were like, your daughter is so wise beyond her years and well spoken, and yeah, shout out to her. So we'll see though. Tomorrow's the big day, and you know, the wrong group of friends, or you know, I don't know.
You gonna be able to sleep tonight?
Huh?
You gonna be able to sleep tonight?
Oh no, not at all. I'm gonna be.
I can see it in your face
I'm
right now.
boo-hooing. I'm going through. I'm actually gonna go through Facebook and Instagram and look through all.
Why
of
do y'all
the
do this to
pictures
yourselves? I look at
and
my
make
wife
a
and know what's going
timeline.
to
Sleep
sleep
mad peacefully the day before school.
Yeah, shit, me too. Right now, at least. But you're not at the middle school phase yet.
I'm gonna be fine.
We'll see.
Didn't do it for kindergarten. Didn't do it for none of them little whatever.
I did think though, I had this like realization because you know a lot of the reason why I'm scared for Jaylee entering middle school is the social dynamic. So you know, girls, the mean girls, and being peer pressured
Shit
into
is a
certain
real
things.
ecosystem.
It is, but it's, you know, also the boys, and you know, boys coming on to her and boys trying to do things with her and the crushes, and just being like these nasty ass little boys trying to get their paws on my daughter. But I'm like, I have twins and I have a son now. First of all, I have a son, and I'm like, one day I'm gonna be sending my son and my daughter off to
the
middle
wild.
school. Into the wild, and I'm thinking like, what kind of
different
messaging am I going to be giving my son when I'm like telling Magic, like, all right, you know, be careful of these nasty ass little boys. Boys only want to do one thing, da 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 da. But and then I'm like, am I shitting on boys? And then
Hey,
what
boy,
is
go
that?
get your shit off.
No, I mean, no, I would tell my son the same thing, like, be careful of girls and this and that and the other. And
Oh, yeah.
But I'm just like, I just thought about it. I'm like, you know, I know guys like feel under fire, or they felt under fire during like the Me Too movement, which is like, you know, it was necessary, and women really do be facing a lot of shit that I don't think men really understand. But I think also now that I have a son, I think I can understand where it's like, we don't want to villainize boys, we don't want to villainize men, because there are good boys, there are good men, but we also have to teach our daughters the reality, at least how I'm doing things. Like, I would rather her be prepared than not prepared for what's awaiting her.
So I don't got to deal with a daughter, but raising two sons, as a man myself, I know he gonna do what he want to do. He gonna do what he gonna do. So all I can do is give him the game, and then more importantly, lead by example.
Yeah.
So how does dad interact with women? How does dad treat
That
mom?
matters.
How does dad do this? Because they gonna look at that.
Huge.
So if dad's over here talking crazy to mom or doing whatever, they gonna do the same thing because I want to be like dad, or this is all I've seen. This is normal to me, right? So you know, that goes from how you speak to them. You know, are we opening doors? We pulling out chairs? Like all the chivalry stuff, down to how do I speak about them?
You're cooking, as they say.
And it's you know, all this shit matters. And like I said, I'm constantly every day trying to provide what I didn't have because I'm so paranoid. Like, you can change someone's path. Everything's like a butterfly effect. Oh, I could do this. I could change their whole path and they don't have to deal with all this shit. Like, I had to like learn it all, and sometimes too late to where they can just, but then I also know older people could tell me some shit. I ain't gonna listen. I'm gonna do what I do. My body's telling me I want to fuck her. I'm gonna go try to fuck her. I'm fucking 16.
And do you see why I'm scared? Also,
I'm
about
saying
my
that, but I was also like, you know,
Women are the same way though.
but I was also lucky
What
enough
do
to
you
where
Like, I've met fast-tailed girls. Like, that's what my mom used
yes.
to tell me back in the day,
Yes.
right? And especially like being like what he's saying, like with the women. Like, there was a time where I was in high school and there was a girl that was 19. And
Wow.
she was like my boss, like at a place I was working at. We went to the same school. I mean, we went to the same church. And she was older than me. I was 18.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
I was 17, 18 at the time. She was like 19, 20, around there. And
She was a superior.
She rocked
She
your
was a
world?
predator.
bro, like, it was strong too though, because you don't know what to do in that moment, right?
Exactly.
Like the things she would say to me, and then like been in here a few times too.
You know, and that's real. Like, you know, I have a guy friend who told me that his female babysitter S8'd him. Like when he's starting at like 7, 8 years old.
That's crazy.
Like, you know, like literally, and she was a grown woman.
Yeah.
And
crazy.
like would literally like suck his dick, and like, you know, he's like a successful business owner, and you know, that's still something that like, you know, after years of friendship, he disclosed that to me, and that's something that like still sits with him. So like I said, like having those conversations with my son too, and my daughter, one of her friends is, and I hate calling girls fast, but I don't know what else to say, like boy crazy, you know, like she is, like I caught her, they were supposed to be walking the dog, and I was like, what is taking so long? And I went to go check on them, and her friend was FaceTiming a boy. And this was before my daughter had her phone. And I was like,
this is my window.
You know, and like, you know, Jaylee, I'm lucky. Jaylee likes to wear like more baggy clothes, and we've had the crop top conversations where I'm like, you know, we're not there yet. If you want to wear a crop top, you at least need to wear a spaghetti strap under. I've told her when she doesn't want to yet, but yes, she is allowed to when she wants to. I told her I'd walk her through it and teach her how to do that. She has also... no, we won't go there. That's a little too personal. But like her eyebrows, if she wants to get her eyebrows done, my sister is like the brow queen.
What about nails?
She can get manicures. If she wanted to get like acrylics, no. But I could do like press-ons that have a little length.
Okay.
You know, so
talking to people like you is gonna have to like, it's gonna warm me up to certain things.
You know, because
hearing it from my wife is different, because it's like I'm there every day and I see it. I lose no matter what because of my mother in there. You know, she come I want her to do all this. Like, fuck, I ain't gonna never win. I came home, had her nails painted. I was like,
well, you know, my dad was old school, like no nails painted, no two pieces.
Yeah, but I feel like he's right. It's gonna get worse if I like continue
and
to
you,
act
exactly.
like that.
And if you do that and you don't let her have any type of freedom, then once she gets out there, or even we've already had that conversation. You say, hey, once she get out there,
well,
do what you know what scares me, and I started to cut you off. What scares me is that if I allow you to have the freedom,
you're going to take it.
And you're going to take it. It's like, yo, I want you to say no to
But the thing about the kids is, they want the forbidden fruit. Oh, I can't have that shit. Makes me want it more.
Yeah.
Right?
But it's also
like,
about
I've been around people who smoked their first cigarette because I was like, oh, this shit ain't even cool. My mom lets me smoke in the house or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you know, that element of things being legal takes away. This is where they try to apply this to society of like, sometimes the fact that it's illegal drives people. Once you make it legal, they're like, oh, this shit ain't even cool no more.
Well,
There's
yeah,
it's
like the strict parents, you know, and then they go off to college and they're buck wild, versus like the kids who are partying in high school, they go off to college and it's no big difference. You know, if anything, they're a little bit more chill, or it's not so extreme where they're like getting belligerent. I think with like, as far as my experience with raising my daughter and like finding that balance of like, you know, the nail polish and leading them into things, it's just a lot of like appropriate. So like having like conversations where, is this appropriate? Is this, you know, within your age limit? Like, and giving options like, okay, I know that crop tops are in the style. So yes, you can wear the crop top, but you have to wear the undershirt, you know, where no stomach is showing. So finding like ways where, like you said, it's not completely where like, yeah, you can wear the crop top and you're like praying they don't, and then they do, and you're like, fuck. It's like, no, let's compromise. You can wear the crop top, but you have to wear the shirt under it.
It's like drawing that line of, because it's like, yo, I want you to be able to express yourself.
Exactly.
But I can't control what these little motherfuckers might be looking at when you are expressing yourself.
Exactly.
And that's why we have this conversation with women when we get older. I know that I'm about to hit a fine line, but there's a reason why I'm going to say this, right? Because as a man with a daughter, I know what it's like to be around other men. You might be freely expressing yourself and shit like that, and I'm with you. Yeah. But you're attracting the wrong things.
Exactly. But I think what the bigger picture is, and that's why it's a slippery slope, and that's why, you know, when I'm looking hoochie and I'm going to go into a 7-Eleven, I might throw a jacket on because I already know. You know what I mean? But also not leaning into rape culture. So not feeding into like, the idea that men have a permission to look at you, talk to you, treat you a certain way because you're dressed a certain way, or you deserved a type of treatment because you're dressed a certain way. And ultimately, women, young girls need autonomy. So at the end of the day, it is hard because, like you said, we don't know what they're being said. We have an idea. But women, girls need to be able to feel like they have control over their body. And as parents, we have to guide them and help them make decisions on how they're going to express and represent themselves. But at the end of the day, instilling to them, like, you are in control of your body, which when they're in situations, even if they're dressed hoochie and they have some nasty, crusty motherfucker approaching them, they're like, nah, I'm in control of my body. I feel very confident to say no.
You cooking.
That's why you got to do why you think the preacher's daughter is known as like the freakiest girl, because they've been policed by Jesus this whole time. And it's like, hey, but like at the end of the day, when they're younger, they're looking at you for the example. Right? And then there's going to be a certain age where you don't matter no more. Now it matters their peers.
Exactly.
The group of people they're around are going to influence them so much more. So if they're hanging out with a bunch of hoes or a bunch of dogs or whatever it might be, it's probably going to be that because they're going to feel pressure to feel belong.
That's the phase I'm entering in, and that's why I'm terrified. And I'm just hoping that, like, you know, I really try to facilitate and foster friendships for my daughter. And like when I meet friends and I try to get to know their parents. And, you know, when we go to like the orientation, we made a friend. I made a few friends and I'm like introducing, because that's the thing. If you can, like, my daughter's new principal said it great. He said, like, at this age, it's easy for parents to feel like they're supposed to kind of lean back or back away because your children start getting super independent. They start getting a lot shorter, a lot more private. They have all these other outlets where they can converse and express privately. He was like, but don't be tempted to lean into that. He was like, you want to stay close as possible. He was like, it's just about finding a way that works for you and your child, close without being like invasive or them feeling like invasive. And so I feel like part of that closeness is being close to their friends, you know, and so having their friends in your house so you can hear those conversations. You can catch those moments like I did with them walking the dog and FaceTiming the boy, and you can redirect those conversations and say, hey, Jaylee, I just want to remind you, like, you know, we're not there yet. You're not at that level. We can get there when you want to get there, communicating with boys via the phone. You know, we can talk about it, your dad, your stepdad, but we're not there. So, you know, it's all a learning, but keeping close, especially to their peers, like now in the age bracket that I am in, is going to be vital because, like you said, they're going to have the true influence.
It's what saved me, right? I didn't have like an example to look at, like, oh, this is how you treat a woman or whatever. But then my peers, luckily enough, it can get all the hoes, but they also treat them with respect. We're not forcing nobody to do nothing. We don't put nobody in uncomfortable situations. It's more like, hey, I don't need to force myself to like do something with you because I'm confident in myself to where if I really, really need that, I can find somebody for that. Right. Yeah. So it's not like, oh, this is my shot. It's got to be you, blah, blah, blah. It's more like, all right, cool. I like you. I'll take my time with you because I can still do me on the side.
Oh, my.
I'm talking about like a younger version of me who's not taking like serious relationships or whatever, stuff like that.
Yeah, like I'm not going to be pushy because
I'm not going to cut off my whole roster because you showed up, but I'll think about it in due time.
I'm done with you.
Yeah, I know. That's a sad. I'd be thinking about that. I have to understand that. Like, I have to come to grips with that at some point in my life. That like my daughter might be
on a roster,
have a roster. That's what I thought.
And be part of one.
Oh, dang, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been on a roster too.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like all these adult things that we talking about. That's what's fucking scary to me. I'm not like having a young daughter. I'm not concerned about having an older daughter. I'm not concerned about. It's what are you going to learn in between?
Exactly.
Like 11 to 17 is like such a fucking critical.
Why do you think I'm like?
I know.
My mom friend, she said, "Girl, I'm so scared." I said, "Bitch, if you're scared, I'm petrified." We are going through it. The parents that have kids going into 6th grade and going into high school. Yeah, no, both. I know a lot of my friends who have handsome sons, especially their freshman sons. You know,
we're just talking about the cuteness.
Yeah.
What about being offered drugs?
Exactly. I partake. Oh, that too.
What you? Look, that's a shared pain.
I did that.
How you gonna feel if somebody's like, "Gee, hey man, smoke this weed real quick, bro. I got some." We used to have a kid in 6th grade walk around saying that he had angel dust like on his backpack. Like he would be like scratchy, bro. Like there was angel dust right there. Now being older, I know he was bullshitting or whatever, but there was kids going around sniffing his motherfucker's backpack.
Yeah, there was hella kids smoking weed in my middle school. I smoked weed for the first time.
And the
in
respectable
middle school.
people I was around, we used to just pretend Lucas was drugs.
But that's a different time period. There ain't no ice cream man walking around here all the time selling Lucas. These motherfuckers getting the real thing. They getting the fent. And these, you know what I mean? So
Scary.
hit my hand class, man. Y'all gonna make me sad.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, right? God.
Y'all make me sad as shit.
Yeah, me and Jaylee had the vaping combo.
That's the big one right there. The vaping one is the big one.
Yeah, a big combo about that. We'll save that for next time.
Fun facts. August is named after Roman Emperor Augustus.
Yes.
Never knew that.
Me neither.
I'm gonna just start doing random shit for each month, just so that we get that in. But it's weird to me that we really on that Gregorian calendar thing. So they got the math right. You know what I mean? It's just weird that we still follow Roman shit. You know.
It's also in the scientific community. Eventually, we're gonna have a 25-hour day, and that's gonna throw some shit off.
Is it all because of the way that the Earth is spinning?
Well, because the reason we have a leap year is because the moon, or there's not 24 hours a day. There's 23.87 whatever.
Yeah, they
so every
round
4
up.
years we got to make up for that and add another day. But what's happening is slowly but surely the moon is drifting away from the Earth. That affects how fast it spins. It affects the gravitational pulls, and so eventually it's gonna make the days longer, and then it's gonna fuck everything up. It ain't gonna happen no time soon. But
They
yes,
said the moon's shrinking too.
every single year,
Wow.
every
the moon
single
quakes.
year, the moon moves away a few centimeters. So that's a long time,
Wow.
right? But geologically speaking, shit's gonna pop off, and it's gonna be. It's fun to theorize about like how we're gonna end because we can't sustain here. We either gonna because once the moon goes away, I don't know if you know how important the moon is to us, but there's gonna be tidal waves and shit
Yeah, it's
because
like
they keep the
gravity, right?
gravity or whatever,
Yeah.
right? Or once the sun is a star. Stars don't live forever. That shit gonna blow up. When shit blows up, we gone.
I like
Or
when you talk science.
if they say stuff like that, like because everything is, the big expansion, we just move farther away from everything. Everything there's more space between everything all the time. So another theoretical way we end is the big freeze, which is just complete darkness because we're so far away from everything done drifted.
That
Oh
was in
my
the
God,
show
that's
once.
so scary.
Yeah.
That was in the show once.
It's scary to look at because you're like, oh, we're here. That could just happen right now. But it happens so slow. We going to be gone way before the shit happened.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Still interesting.
The thing is, that's the type of thinking
Thought we
I
were gonna be
have
happier.
where I'm like, yo, yeah, my bad. I done took this shit left. None of this shit.
I am too. That's
None
why
of this
I
shit-
said the fucking
damn.
word.
But this
Think
is how
about the end
this is how my
times.
brain works when I'm like, yo, none of this shit matters. Now it matters in our lifetime. Yeah, shit
Kendrick
matters.
said that too. What
But
happens on
none
Earth
of this
stays on
shit
Earth.
really fucking matters because at the end of the day, yeah, it might be billions of years from now. It's all a wrap.
Right.
And this happens. The things I'm talking about happen even if we find a way to live on Mars or whatever the fuck they trying to do right now. It's a wrap. No matter what.
But our kids still have to survive and
They'll
get
be
through
fine.
it.
Oh, that's what he's talking about.
I'm talking about when I
at least
speak
900 generations
geologically
from now.
speaking, it don't matter. Now it matters enough for me to try to build some shit because we got a little time.
You know what I always think about? I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, you know what I grapple with based on that?
Huh.
Like, do I need a headstone and all that?
Fuck no.
Like, does it really matter? Because, like, yeah, it's for y'all in this time period. But, like, yo, there's so many people buried underneath us that we don't know who they are and all this other shit. You know what I mean? Like, yo,
Yeah.
like, but we're spending 20 grand and asking for GoFundMes for, like funerals and shit.
There's
you know?
very earth conscious ways
crazy.
to be buried now. Put
Yeah.
me in the dirt and let me fucking evolve into some good
Have you
ass
seen the
tr-
tree? I want to be the tree pod. Have you seen that?
fuck
Yeah,
with that.
there's a
Have-
new
yeah.
shit. They
Have you
wrap
seen
you
that?
in this special shit. Put me down there. If not, if you gotta burn me,
Yeah.
at least make me like some fly ass jewelry or
Yeah.
something and walk around with me.
Exactly.
Like, I keep my dog. I still got him. It's been like 6 years.
Is he cremated or you got
Yeah,
him
he in a box upstairs.
taxidermy?
Nobody else gives a fuck about his remains but me. No one else, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, yo, when I'm
Hey
gone,
man, he
like,
took it hard.
Who?
I was around.
yeah, it was a tough time for me.
Yeah.
But still, I get
No,
that.
I'm saying he took it hard.
Oh, no, that's Satchel. I'm talking about my other one. I had a big one. Yeah, I had a big one.
Yeah.
Satchel, I really wasn't fucking with Satchel's last few years.
Was he getting grumpy?
Yeah, he was just, he didn't fuck with me. He only fucked with my dad. Like, motherfucker, I'm the one that chose you out the kennel, dog. It was that kennel in La Mesa. That one that they had there, I swear they was like, they was getting them from fucking Mills. Yeah, so they was doing something. Next time you see a pine cone, take a closer look. If it's closing, it may indicate that rain is on the way.
Science.
I don't see too many pine cones out here in San Diego.
Yeah, me neither.
But, I thought that was interesting. Also thought it was interesting that it rained today a little bit.
Yeah.
Washed my car.
Shit was nasty.
Dumbass me. Yeah, it was a nasty day.
It was so it was so muggy. And yeah.
In the orange.
But the sun
Y'all don't be listening to me.
but
Last
the
days.
sunfall, the sunset was so beautiful. But yeah, it was muggy and there were some big raindrops for a little bit. But it went away.
I was like, yo, this is not South Florida. Like, this is crazy.
Right.
weird.
But if we turn to South Florida, imagine what South Florida turns into.
Shit,
Oh,
hell.
swampland?
Hell.
Even more?
Well, no, eventually Florida's going to be underwater first. They're going to be first.
That actually makes sense.
And that's going to be a lovely
Are they
day.
like hanging down? Why are they going to be underwater first?
Just
Sea level's rising.
Yeah, the sea level's rising, and
Because
they're
of the
right
ice
there.
caps.
They're a little bit lower. They don't have a much whatever. Like, New Orleans is gone. Like, there's gonna be certain patches that are gonna go first, and New Orleans and Florida are first.
Yeah, let's check you.
Real deep, huh? I'm
Your
telling you.
doomsday talk is bringing.
Doomsday.
And that's with zero drugs.
Let's keep going. And yeah, I
All right, let's
can
get to some
imagine.
happier shit. The first Summer Olympics games.
You just said we were about to be happy, and I turned.
I know.
See, I'm about to turn this shit into some Hitler stuff.
Nah, it's all good.
Don't
This
say
is
that. You can't reference. Oh my lord.
What are you talking about the Olympics? So I'm gonna bring up Jesse Owens.
no the first. The first Summer Olympics games had just 14 participating countries, including 11 European countries originally joined those of Australia, Chile, and the USA at the first host city in Athens. Now more than 200 countries compete in the Olympics each year.
Wow.
So the Olympics are actually originated. Do I have that in here?
You want to hear
I
the
don't.
medal count?
It actually started in Greece. Well, we caught up. We ended up we have the most medals, and then I think we tied for gold with China, I believe.
What's the official count?
Or we're one above
You
China.
okay with that? No, we tied.
Oh, we tied? Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I don't like that.
Dude, they won in sports that don't necessarily matter
Don't-
to us.
it don't
in the
matter.
US. No,
Did
it
you
does, because you're not gonna do badminton.
It don't matter.
You doing shooting?
Well,
It don't matter.
maybe. I just love that the U.S. women had the most medals out of women had more medals than men, basically.
Yeah, they be holding it down.
And I love that.
Yeah. Basketball and soccer, basketball for the men's too, but the women have been really dominant in basketball. But they're also, the world is catching up with them too. They were down 10 at one point, so it's gonna be next 4 years gonna be crazy.
Did you guys see who won the breakdancing?
It was Japan, right?
No, it was a white woman from maybe
Australia, I
Australia.
think. Yeah.
Oh, that little
And-
thing I've been seeing was the
and
winner,
and her name,
where she does this little flappy thing. She
Yeah.
won.
and her name
I don't think
is.
it's much competition.
I don't know if I'm putting.
I heard they're not bringing it back as the next
Hold
one.
on, let me say her name,
Get her
and I
shit
might
up.
be enunciating it wrong. Her name is Nika.
Oh, that's why they were making that joke.
Nicka.
Okay,
So they were
yeah.
like the gold Olympian for breakdancing is a white woman from Australia, and her name is Nika.
Because they put her next to white Moesha Johnson.
Yeah, Moesha Johnson is crazy.
And they said to her, she better send in a headshot with her resume.
She looked like
Terrible.
she looked like 11 from fucking, what was that TV show, man, with the little kids on
Stranger
Netflix?
Things?
Yeah, from Stranger Things. Moesha did.
Yeah.
So-
yeah. Well, the world is catching up. So there you go.
Until 1912, first place Olympic medals were made of solid gold. Possibly one of our favorite facts about the Olympics. Sadly, though, it's no longer the case.
Shit.
Recent games have given out around 5,000 bronze, silver, and gold medals in total. That's a lot of medals. So instead of being created from solid gold, the heavy first place medals are now covered in 6 grams of it.
Oh, they're plated gold.
Yeah, I played
Hey,
it.
we've been doing this show a long time.
What you mean?
You said this shit the last Olympics.
Did I really?
You did.
4 years ago?
I didn't
3
know
because of
that.
COVID. We had it in 21.
Oh.
Well,
I definitely didn't know that. That's crazy.
Well, I got a new story about that because Nyjah.
They're not even real gold, solid gold. That's
Shit,
kind
even
of
the bronze ain't even real bronze, or it's oxidizing fast. Nyjah, whatever that skateboarder kid is, he was young and now he a grown man now. But he got a bronze, and he said that like after 2 days of like passing it around to his friends and wearing themselves, it started like tarnishing and like turning apart already.
See, that's Bobo.
And people were like, "Oh, y'all don't know how metal works." I was like, "Yeah, but I don't think metal should tarnish in like 3 days. Like new pennies don't tarnish in 3 days, and I feel like not a lot of money.
They're
goes
going
into the
low
penny.
quality on them.
You know what's funny? How much does a penny cost to make?
That's a great question. I feel like you would know.
Well, I know that's where they're talking about getting rid of coins because it actually costs, or they're trying to get rid of the nickel specifically because it costs like 8 cents to produce a nickel.
That's so crazy.
I'm not exactly sure the penny ratio, but I do know that specifically nickels they're trying to get rid of because they're inefficient.
That's so crazy. I never thought about that question until
Me neither.
right now.
I'm gonna Google all of those, all the coins now.
Hit my hand claps. We go ahead and get up out of here. We got you in for a solid hour, though.
Yeah,
I'll take that
thanks,
all day
guys.
long. No, thank you, because you came in right at the clutch. 3 cheers. We didn't do it last week. I just cut us out because we were like 2 hours in, and we're 2 hours in again. Somebody hit me and was like, "Yo, you guys hit the perfect time slot ratio of 2 hours." I was like, "Look, in the enjoying listening moment of you guys going through your work day is great." I was like, us sitting here, we be like, "Yo."
I don't try to listen back to us for no 2.5 hours.
Nah, I didn't listen to that.
Maybe it's because I'm here doing it. But on
I
the
did.
playback, when I'm listening for like game tape, I'm just like, oh
No.
my God, we won't shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you gotta say, but it was good because last week it was like the first half of the episode was, you sharing your story, but then the second half of the episode was just us all talking.
Like having fun again.
Yeah, exactly. I liked it.
It was, which I think caused way more concern. You missed that on the front half when I was talking. Like people were concerned about him after. I was like, no, look, we waited months before. Like
They ain't concerned
told
enough to
y'all.
hit me.
For real, that's crazy. It was like tell him to like let us know he's all right. I was like, y'all don't really know him like that. Then he ain't gonna do that.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna do. You have to text him. 3 cheers. I do want to give my 3 cheers out to the U.S. women's. I think that's like 8 Olympics in a row. You times that by
You talking about
4
basketball?
Olympic women. 32 years of dominance, and definitely a shout out to Brittany Griner. We know what happened to her in that Russian prison. Came back, made it on, got a gold medal
Smoking
for
drugs.
it. Yeah. Which I thought about that. Like, think about the anxiety that she might have had just like even traveling back to Europe. She probably hadn't been back there since all that shit happened.
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. She definitely overcame some
Like, I'd be like,
serious-
yo, like, I don't want to go back over there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, she loved ball.
It
and
was
shit.
France, so yeah, France. I probably could do France.
Yeah, I can fuck with France. But yeah, shout out to the United States and the soccer team. I believe won gold again too.
Always.
So I respect that. We just need to step up our swimming game, but the Asian countries, they got that shit fucking pinned down.
The diving, yeah.
That's all I hear. All I see when they get in there. Bloop.
Dude,
So,
flawless.
anything for you?
I want to give a 3 cheers. My daughter, she's like, "Are you gonna 3 cheers me going into middle school today?"
Yeah, we be getting 3 cheers requests, and I never honor them.
So let me start with
I
my.
don't give a fuck what you doing, or if I do, but now I don't, not enough to shout it out.
You have to. What the heck? You're no fun. But so shout out to my baby girl starting middle school. So if you know us or you don't know us and you want to send us prayers or just uplift
Shout out to
us.
her for knowing our segments.
Absolutely. I mean, she made it all the way through too.
I definitely skipped this part. I don't even participate in it.
No, Lord, we're working on that. And then I want to give also 3 cheers to the Lyrical Groove. I saw them today at Blanket Sound,
Shout out
and
to them.
they were amazing. All of them,
God,
the drummer, the guitarist, Kendrick, the lead singer, poet, rapid, and Brisa, the lead singer. Oh my goodness, I was just mesmerized. They were so good, and just seeing, people like be parents and community leaders and just your normal folk, but then getting to see them like on a stage or whatever their talent is, like it's just something really empowering and exciting. And so shout out to them. They have some dope music, so go the Lyrical Groove on all listening platforms.
Absolutely, Lex.
You better.
Shout out to Eastlake Pop Warner.
No, fuck them. No, I'm gonna give it. I'll keep it. I'll keep it women too. I'm gonna give a 3 cheers to Jordan Childs.
That sucks.
They took her bronze medal away like 5 days after. But I like the support she's been getting. Shout out to her and Simone for doing that, giving what's her name that moment from Brazil where they bowed to her on the podium and shit like that. Like that.
Why did they take her medal? I'm sorry, I wasn't.
Because she got the medal. Like when I watched it, she was looking and it was like, oh, I didn't make it. And then there was like a challenge to some technical whatever.
Like she did,
and then she started celebrating like, oh shit, she won. So they gave her the medal. She did everything. 5 days later, they took the shit to court. They appealed the challenge, and then they won. So they took it away, and now they're about to give this bronze medal to whatever her name is.
Which is crazy because it's like, I don't want it no more. You took my moment.
I ain't
like
really
the
want,
Olympic court, like
something like
Yeah,
that.
it's like
Wow.
the federation or
They lost their medal, but yeah, it's like you can't really take that moment away.
Oh, that's like when they crowned the wrong beauty queen. I hate those moments. Have you seen that?
Yeah, like we already remember her. I don't even remember what old girl looked like that she was going against. It don't matter.
To be
now.
fair,
You
we're
robbed both of
Americans, so
them.
we weren't gonna
Shit,
remember
only
her
her
anyway.
country remembers her, man. Ain't nobody give a fuck about all that
See,
shit.
you're speaking like an American right now, which I like, which is why I'm upset that you're not upset about China having 40 gold medals.
I'm not upset about that.
But no, yeah, tomorrow
They
my
have more people than
tomorrow my page
Us. What the fuck are you talking about?
tomorrow my
Much more disciplined.
If you had a population of 1,000, I'd be mad. Like,
tomorrow
yo,
my patriotism is leaving,
yeah,
and I will be back to my normal shit.
Like KD
Shout out
said,
to
we
the
got a
other
lot of bullshit
Olympians.
here, but a lot of
Shout
good
out
things,
to
too.
motherfucking what's my man's name, Quincy, the 16-year-old track runner who was part of the relay, run the 4x4.
Trash.
Oh,
They
my.
won.
Yeah, but they not because of him.
Oh yeah, no, he's slow as fuck, but he's 16.
Like,
He flexed on you, said, "Yo, I got school in 2 weeks," while he was showing his medal or whatever.
I ain't mad at him.
Shout out to Steph for giving us a lot of really dope moments in the past couple games.
First and
that,
last.
that live on, like, oh shit, you know.
He ain't coming back.
I was
No, yeah.
This is
LeBron
first
went
one.
to like
35.
3, right?
Yeah, he 35 though.
No,
By
this
next
is
one, he's
LeBron.
39.
This is LeBron's 5th,
And this is his last, I'm sure.
unless he
Yeah.
skipped out
But you
on.
think Curry won't at least maybe have one more?
I don't think
35.
He's 35. I don't think he
He
played.
ain't
How
done
old
it.
is LeBron?
39. He ain't coming back. Either.
So then he would be 39, the same age as LeBron.
But he
is
ain't
now.
playing as long as LeBron because he went to college.
So he doesn't have as much like.
No,
left in
not
his
them
body.
legs.
Okay.
I don't think he would go either.
Because a lot of people like when Kobe retired, Kobe was like he could still play, but he was like, "Yo, if I can't play the way I want to, I'm not gonna waste no time on this shit." And I think Curry has a lot of that in him.
Okay, I see.
So you'll get a couple more years of that, but I think he gonna be like, nah.
I don't know when he gonna stop playing. He looked like
He looked great.
Yeah, he's
but
still
you know, it's still. But it also like he had a nice little off season. Like he didn't make the playoffs. He had a little rest and everything. And I feel like when you really take that shit serious, and he even said it when he won his last one. He's like, all I really care about right now is the gold medal, because I've done everything else I need to do. And now that he's done that, I'd be interested to see how he goes the
Like
next
how much
season
time he
or
got
two.
left. Yeah,
He's accomplished.
they
all.
dismantled the team a little bit too. Clay Thompson gone, all the little role players they had gone.
Shout out to Tyrese Halliburton, who took the jokes and ran with it and was like, yo, he showed his gold medal. He's like, hey, when you in a group project and you don't do nothing but you still get the A.
I
Yeah.
love that.
You gotta do it.
Because, you know, Jason Tatum been getting shit on for not playing.
And they still get a medal for participation.
We're gonna need him in 4 years though, so they gotta chill.
Yeah, because Wemby coming. Well, he was already here. Because he dropped, 25 in that little game?
Yeah. Joker still be 33, 32 after that time. All right, we out of here, man. We fucking basketball on the south.
And,
We out
and
here.
my last 3 cheers, shout out to hip hop. It's hip hop's birthday.
Hey.
And, you know,